Yeah, I'm, like, refreshing the YouTube. Really? I wonder if they're I wonder if they're I wonder if they're just preventing anybody from streaming that has certain keywords in the title or the description. Oh, it is? Alright, I'm refreshing and I still see the waiting screen. Oh, yep, yep, I get the ad now. Yep, I see it. Alright, let's go back to let me see now. Uh, yep, I do see it. I do see it live. Whoa. Whoa. People are getting our behind the scenes commentary. We can hear you. God, that sucks.
What is up, everybody? All
Hey.
right. Internet was being glitchy. We're here, though. We got it worked out, I think. Hopefully. Okay.
Yep.
All right, everybody's here.
I see
Everybody's
it
here.
on YouTube. Yep.
Everybody's here. Okay, Beer 30. PA Wooded Era
course.
Interwebs. You're not fucking wrong.
Of course, right before we go live, my eye starts twitching, and now I got something in it. So hold on.
His eyes
I'll be
all
right
red.
back.
Yeah, his eye. Let Dalton go fix that up. What is up, everybody? We are here for yet another watch party that is going to be beginning technically in 30 minutes, but we're going to hang out with all you beautiful mother lovers and sexy autists to start out. Member for 1 month. You are a sexy bitch. You are a sexy bitch, sir. Thank you for staying a member for the Meme Lord Militia. I love you, baby. We're not gooses. I told you, Jason. I'm not a goose. I'm a giraffe. Thank you. Dalton's eyes are red. Tears of joy. No, I think he poked himself in the eye. I actually think that's legitimately what happened. So, just to let everybody know, we are streaming on Restream. And that means I am able to push both to YouTube and to Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. We're able to do that in both real time. Both should be live, hopefully. I'm guessing that both are completely live. If YouTube, for whatever reason, goes down, everybody, we will be on X. Okay? And the reason for that is because CNN has threatened takedowns for anybody who gives the news other than them. Because CNN cares so much about freedom and democracy, as they call it. But, yeah, they're really all about freedom of the press, aren't they? When it, comes to them and, all of that. So that is why, if you check on the bottom right corner, we have a wonderful little CNN logo. If anybody wants that, so you can tweet that out. I'll make sure to post it in the Discord or something.
Hey, so not to be the bearer of bad news, but I think the stream on Twitter or X, I think it stopped. So you might have to
restart it.
There. Yep.
Okay, let me just go into the thingy. It says it's streaming right now. It is live on my end.
In the eye. It's live on your end? Let's see. Maybe you might have a link that I don't have.
Yeah, let me just go to the broadcast. It is currently live. I'm going to post it right here. I'm going to post it on X. Live on X and YouTube.
Wait.
Here we go. And it is right there. And it's still saying live, so hopefully all is well. You have good audio and video? Thank you. All right, Gossi. Is that how you pronounce it? Gossi? Goosey. You're a silly goose. They're a silly goose, not us. All right, let me get some background tunes just so we can all vibe. All right, let's see if those tunes are coming through. Yeah, they are. Can you get demonetized because of people's responses to live streams? Yes. To a degree. If I read them out.
Act accordingly. Yeah. Yeah, if you read them out, yeah.
Think the mathematician. Dude, you think I'm that intelligent? I don't know how to pronounce his name. You keep forgetting your actual name isn't Craig? Me too. I keep forgetting that my name is also not Craig. But guys, we do have a wonderful special guest. But hold on, I just got a message from Lex saying that the same thing you just said, and I was like, here you go. And I'm just gonna say also on YouTube.
Yeah, I retweeted it.
Fuck CNN. There we go. All right, there we go. And oh my God, Shell's messaging me. Guys, I have so many DMs of people being like stuff. There is a few second delay, so maybe 5-10 seconds. That's not too bad.
Yep, but you know, the actual debate, it's going to be about 1 to 2 minutes delay.
Yeah,
rather than normal 7 seconds. It's so weird. Nothing can possibly be happening behind the scenes.
What's up, Delance? How you doing, baby? Hey, Delance, all right? Now, I just want to clear something up, Delance, okay? I don't do this for the money. The money's a perk. And by that, I mean, you really think that YouTube gives me money? You should check out my monetization tab. It's pretty bad, man. The only ones are the cryptid videos. Cryptid and D&D. No, 2 of the D&D ones are demonetized too. Because of reasons. I contested them and they're still like, yeah, fuck you.
Because reasons.
Mm-hmm. By the way, anybody who wants to play bingo or do the drinking game, just letting you know, if you do decide to do the drinking game, you are doing that of your own goddamn accord. I am not going to be liable for your death tonight. But both are in the Discord and on X. The cryptid vids are hilarious. I'm happy. I'm happy you think
they're so great. They're so great.
I'm having so much fun with them. I really am having so much fun with the cryptid videos. And you know what? I think that we're gonna, after tonight, I think we might even have another cryptid. We might even have a cryptid joining us. I don't know. It could be Dalton. Dalton could be a cryptid. We don't fucking know. Dalton, are you a cryptid?
I don't think so.
Would you tell me you're a cryptid if you were a cryptid?
If I feel like if you made a video about me being a cryptid, I feel like I'm obligated to be a cryptid now.
I think that you might be a cryptid and you're just not telling me that you're a cryptid, which is, I don't know. I don't know who to trust anymore.
Well, I'm just going to call you a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Oh, that's fair. Dungeons and Day Jobs, the cryptid ones are the crypt. Okay, so you've seen the D&D ones too, right, Dalton?
Yeah.
The D&D,
a couple.
Yeah, the D&D videos are more like lore logic, and I'm gonna say the cryptid videos are much more just like lore and creative and yeah.
I can see that.
Mr. Merc apparently shit himself. Wait, Mr. Merc, are you Biden? That's because that's
they're related.
Oh, yes, maybe. Ramboop Nick. Yeah, everyone's saying Ramboop. By the way, I will be smoking tonight. It's how I deal with screen anxiety. I hope you all understand that. By the way, welcome to you for becoming a member. We got Zeke that is also a member. And then is MA? Yeah, MA is Zeke, I believe. I believe that is Zeke. But yes, thank you for becoming a member. Fucking love you. You're ready to watch the CNA debacle? Yeah.
Special guest is Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie is our special guest, everybody. Yeah. Well, you know, you saw Brandon. How do you feel about Brandon having I don't want to say making amends necessarily, but at least the man has a way stronger spine than me. I would have decked the man after the stuff he said.
So to me, it kind of felt like, in the photos, because it's only photos that we see right now,
Only
and
photos,
we don't really
yes.
know. Yeah, we don't really know beyond, what Brandon posted, but it looked like, it's Brandon's congressman, because at the end of the day, he's still his congressman. It looks like it's his congressman taking the time out of his day to listen specifically to him on the issues that matter most to Brandon Herrera, and the reason why he ran against him. And I think that does show some good from, Tony
Team
Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it's like, good on you, Tony. I'm glad you did that. But at the same time, it's like, I kind of hope that, I don't know if Brandon did this or not.
I still hope his pillow's warm, and I hope he stubs his toe. Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, part of me is just like, I think that Brandon has, sent a very clear and loud message that, hey, we're still not happy. However, we are going to, try to work together, because we both want the same things. We just disagree on kind of the end goal on how to get there or whatever.
We got a good point in chat. It says we need to back him against the Dems in the fall. And I did see a lot of people saying that they were planning on just like voting for the Dem because of how badly he was lying. They were like, he left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths in more than one way, to my knowledge. So I get it. I fucking get it. You know what I mean?
Yep. But it has been a couple weeks. Things have probably cooled down. I'm sure, like Brandon said, they've had a couple of conversations. So it's like, hopefully those are good conversations. And hopefully if Tony doesn't steer himself straight, Brandon runs again. So I mean, like, there's always that possibility. And I think he's teased that in some of his videos, or at least one of the videos that I'm aware of.
To my knowledge, I know that he originally said that he just kind of wanted to prove a point, and he definitely proved a point. He proved a point.
Yeah. I know he's joked about it in the Father's Day video.
Yeah. And what is it? Is it AI pack? Is that how you say it? Yeah, AI pack, whatever. The Israeli pack.
Oh, APAC?
Yeah, APAC. Is it just APAC?
I think it's just APAC.
Okay, so APAC, fuck APAC.
It's weird. The I is silent for some reason.
Silent.
I think it's weird.
I don't know, but APAC is horrible. By the way, also I just saw that D's Nuts became a member as well. Welcome, D's Nuts. You won't hear this on CNN. But you know what you will hear on CNN? Does everybody want to hear what you will hear on CNN? You'll hear this, whatever this is. I don't know.
And Biden last debated.
This is the cryptid, everybody. You guys want to see the cryptid?
The 2020 election was stolen.
This is a real life cryptid
Trump
in the wild.
also has a shiny new title since 2020.
What do we name it?
Felon.
What are its powers? Let us know in the chat.
34 counts for falsifying business records might have helped him raise.
The cryptid superpowers is that it just lies all day long. Just all day long. Doesn't stop. That's its one superpower.
And you know what I'm gonna say? CNN. Fuck you. Fair use.
Yep.
This is transformative. We just transformed one of your correspondents into a cryptid. We have the power here.
Yep. Absolutely.
Everybody said, oh God, click off, click off. I know, it's hard to look at, and it's going to be very hard to listen to, everybody, but I just want you to understand. We're doing it for you and for the memes. I'm actually going to turn the volume up for me and Dalton so we could comment. Dalton, can you still hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Superpowers to kill brain cells. And
there
integrity. And integrity.
Yep.
Yeah. Better feed than even Timcast. Love you guys. We love you too. Gazelle, thank you for the 2. Yep, technically they already did say convicted felon, but Biden did not say it, so it does not follow the drinking game rules, okay? It has to be Biden that says it. She did, and she's talking about it right now. You guys actually can't hear it because I have Dalton coming through chat, and then on my mixer, I have her coming through my main system chat. So right now, if you guys want to hear her, here you guys can. You'll hear her in the background screeching.
So yeah, we hear her, but they can't.
Areas that voters blame Biden and Democrats for, namely the economy.
Do you guys want to even hear her right now? The debate hasn't started, so
these
it doesn't
issues
really
matter to a wide swath of voters in the middle.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't even want to hear.
Okay, cool. I'll just mute it real quick. So
you're
just
welcome,
making sure
guys.
everything's
You're
working.
welcome.
Yes, we love you. We love you. There is
I
a
will
bingo
say this
card.
is definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say this is a much smoother stream. It seems like, other than the minor hiccups in the beginning, than the first stream.
Yes, but that's also we figured out a lot of stuff from our first stream. We're using a different service. We're using Restream so we could duo stream, which is great. So we're on both YouTube and X. If YouTube goes down because of copyright, we will be on X. Elon's pretty much said, no, go fuck yourself, CNN. So that's where we are. And if you do, as I said, there is a drinking game and there is a bingo card. They are on X and in my Discord.
So on X, it tells me 110 people are watching on X.
We got 110 people watching on X. That's
what it's
kind of
telling me, 150 and 150 on YouTube. So shout out to everyone.
Everybody.
Awesome.
First off, I've never gone live on X. Don't know how any of this shit works. But I love you all. Thank you. 116 actually. Oh, it's half of noob. What's up, Lex? Or my bad, Dr. Emily. Dr. Emily Carter has joined us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
Ma'am thing? Are we calling it ma'am?
Yeah,
it speaks is grim.
No, it was the other pronouns.
Yeah, that
right.
was the other one.
Yep.
Bet
Sorry.
Biden shit his pants.
I didn't mean to misgender you or mispronoun you or whatever, but it's whatever.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna run a poll in the chat. Okay, and the poll is gonna be: will Biden poo his pants?
I already knew it.
Okay, so everybody, you guys can vote. I want to see what you guys think. This is on YouTube only. I don't think I could do that through X, but if you are on X, let me know in the chat below if you think yes or no. How much do you think they're shoving into Biden's IV bag right now?
Whatever they can get away with without killing him.
Wasn't there a drug test?
No, I think Biden
denied it, right?
He just said, he denied it. Yeah.
Ooh. Dr.
So, I mean,
Emily's a hottie. I don't know about that.
I don't know that I don't know that I'd go that far.
I'm gonna have to not my type. That's what we'll go with. I'm not here to kink shame.
Hard pass.
By the way, everybody, serious shout out to Dalton here for making these wonderful backgrounds. Dalton made all the graphics, did a fucking fantastic job. And we also got Pro Squasha. Thank you for the 5. And we always appreciate. I will never ask for donations, but if you, out of the kindness of your heart, give them, we love you very much and we thank you. And maybe one day when we do a meet and greet, I'll give you a hug and maybe a kiss on the cheek or something. Maybe I'll just drink whiskey with you. You ever think about that? Maybe Dalton will drink whiskey with you. I don't know. He's his own man. I don't control him. He's not tied to my radiator.
Do you see what I see?
What do you see?
Special guest.
Oh, is he a special guest?
I see that he popped in, but he is frozen on my end.
He is frozen on my end as well.
Yep.
Let me see if that is special guest 1 or 2.
I don't know which one would be which one.
I'm not sure. It is. It is vertical.
The fish one. The fishy one.
Is it the fishy one?
It's the fishy one.
Fishy person, can you hear us? Oh, he just left and he's gonna rejoin. He was on mobile as well. Turd, thank you for the 2. Dalton deserves all the hugs.
Thanks,
Look at
guys.
That. Look at that. That's beautiful.
Thanks, Turd.
Let me just really quick because now I have the link. I'm going.
I want nothing more. Yeah, I want nothing more than hugs from Turd.
Turd is just an awesome, sexy person who I love very much.
Wonderful name.
Yeah, no. 10 out of 10 would make love to. And we're gonna do this. And we're just gonna go 1920 by 1080. And I'm just adding there because now I have their join link anyway, so. we'll be able to size him up at least.
Sweet.
Size our guest up. Put that under here. All right, fantastic. I do know that our guest is not technologically savvy necessarily.
He lives underwater, it seems.
Yes, yes. And Sean Deeds with 1 month of membership. Fuck Joe Biden. Oh, yes. But don't, because I feel like you're gonna catch something, buddy.
Oh, there we go.
Is he coming in?
Yep.
All right, we've
Hey,
got
what's
him.
up, man?
We've got him. And let me just make sure. What is going on, good sir? How are you? Our beautiful guest with the mustache of mustaches.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? Trout, can you hear us?
I don't think so.
Must be having some technical difficulties because I can't hear anything. BRB.
My God, please clip this because it really is just, that is perfect. That is perfect. Okay, let me
Well,
message him. We saw you. I'm just gonna say, might wanna.
And that was our special guest.
That was our special guest. He was here for seconds.
Excellent commentary. Excellent analysis.
Indeed. Can you message Trout as my mod and walk him through getting his shit working? Love you, Shell. And also, Trout, we love you. I know that you can't hear us, but we can hear you. The man is so bad with it. This happened when he was
Angry Cops.
Angry
That one
Cops
time?
and Nick had a issue, and I know that there was also another issue with Trout. He's apparently not so good with tech. He's really good with a lot of other stuff. He's super tizzy.
I believe in him. I believe in him.
I also believe in him. We believe in you, Trout. So everybody starts just spamming pictures of fish. Why, Gary? Why? Okay, you want to know why Gary did it? Because Gary's the ultimate fucking dad. That's why.
He did the best impression in that video, I think.
Oh, he was so good. He was so good.
Perfect.
You're talking about Trout, right?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Rules of the debate are coming in. Hold on, we got 3+ media. There we go.
Side of your screen. President Trump will enter from the left side of your screen. The
These are the
podiums
rules
are
of the
8
debate.
feet
Rules of
apart.
the debate,
Directly
everybody.
across from them, the moderators, CNN's Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Now, a reminder, this is a television studio. There's no audience. Candidates will have 2 minutes
There
to answer
normally is
questions,
an audience,
and 1
just to
minute
let
for
everyone know.
responses and rebuttals. At the moderator's discretion, there may be an additional minute for follow-ups, clarifications, or responses. So how does a candidate know how much time is left to speak? Attached to the cameras in the studio and in the candidate's field of view are the timing lights. When the lights show yellow, there are 15 seconds left in a candidate's answer or response. When the lights
Trout's
flash
back.
red, there are 5 seconds left. And when the display
We got
is
Trout
solid
back.
red,
We
the
got
time
Trout back.
is up.
Hold on.
At that point, the candidate's microphone will be turned off.
So they're going over the rules. What is going on, King Trout? Can you hear us? Okay, so you can hear us
Awesome.
and we can hear you now. Fantastic.
Yay.
How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
We are doing absolutely fantastic, sir. We were just listening to the rules of the debate, which are absolute bullshit.
Oh, about how they're turning the mics off and stuff?
Well, also, did you hear that there is a 1 to 2 minute delay?
No, what? So they're going to edit what everybody's saying?
Yes.
Yeah, instead of the second
seconds.
second. Yep, it's just not there. It's just 1 to 2 minutes now. So anything could happen.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Is my mic picking up that engine running 2 feet away from me?
No, oddly enough.
Nope.
Oh, good. That's thanks to my Raycon everyday earbuds.
Oh, what an ad. What an ad.
Nice. Oh,
You know-
we walked right into that one.
Now, do you have anything to say about Adam and Eve or anything else? I mean, feel free to plug here, bud.
Well, they're not sponsoring me, only the Unsubscribed podcast, so not until they start paying me.
Gotcha.
In the meantime, buy my merch.
Yeah, buy King Trout's merch, everybody, because My fucking god, those ads. Dude, they
You're
need
so
to be
good.
on their own channel. 100% they need to be on their own channel. Like as content.
We've been talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been talking about. We're building the lore with each ad.
I respect it. I respect it. So, where are you right now, if you don't mind me asking?
Currently, I'm outside of a bar in a strip mall because I am watching the debates with failed congressman, failed congressional candidate Brandon Herrera, and death content creator, donut operator.
Oh, you know what? I do
Death
hear that
content
he.
creator.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Every thumbnail he's smiling, and every thumbnail it's all about death and destruction. You know, it has nothing to do with the fact that they're like, you know, criminals or anything.
Well, him smiling at the death of a pedophile
Yeah.
is basically criminal.
Oh, wait, we also have our other guest here who has joined
Uh-oh.
with Trout, and you can see this, everybody. Hold on.
My handsome trout.
That is
My
your handsome
handsome-
Trout.
Oh,
Midwestern
oh
trout.
my gosh! It's my favorite angry police officer.
Which is odd because as a libertarian, you hate law enforcement.
I mean,
I
that
do.
is fair. That is
Dude,
fair. I'm
ACAB.
sorry.
Hey,
In
Cab.
case you don't know, he's an extreme libertarian, and he's going to be voting for the homosexual
Yeah.
man later on this year that the Libertarian Party chose to decide,
You
which
mean
is
the
not
furry? Isn't
which
he
is not a
furry?
psyop at all in order to stop the Libertarian Party from voting for their party and then allowing them to vote for Trump. It's not at all some
Right.
sort of weird inside baseball thing.
No.
The Libertarian Party wouldn't do that, would they, Trout?
No, never.
I don't speak on behalf of any. I am wholly
Such a
opposed to the
libertarian thing to
concept
say.
of an organized party. They asked me to speak at the meeting of the libertarians in the state of Indiana. And
Did they
and I
really?
said no, they actually did, seriously.
Really?
But I was like, what am I going to say? Like, I'm an
They-
internet retard.
You could say all of the tropes. You could be like, listen, man, I'm just here to make sure that every gay and lesbian family can protect their marijuana farms with an AR-15.
Now,
Amen,
now
brother.
correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the libertarian guy? He was pro-COVID for privatization, correct? He was pro-private mandation, right?
I don't know. I know there
I'm
was
not sure.
something
I don't-
pro-COVID
what-
mandate that he was a part of.
pro-COVID. Oh, pro-mandate.
Yeah, it was
okay, I thought
pro-mandate
you meant
for the
just like he's in
vaccine.
support of the virus.
Oh yeah, no, he was definitely in support of the virus. I hear the furry spread it, but so no, he was. I believe he was okay with the private entity being mandating people get the vaccine, but not the government. It was to my knowledge.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what kind of made me not be there for it.
Trout, I have a question for you.
Let's hear it.
Who do you think is going to fall down first, Trump or Biden?
Oh, Biden for sure.
Yes.
Are you
He's,
sure? I think the odds are like so stacked against or for Trump that he won't fall down. I want to take the odds that he'll fall down or trip and get like a
Oh, you're going for the
payout.
younger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I mean
think
that
you can make
is
some money
that
on
is
that bet.
financially a more responsible, call. But I would go for the over, just a safe bet. I
don't
got
blame you.
200 on Biden tripping.
Which one do you think's gonna
Him
shit themselves
stammering
first?
over.
I think Biden won that hours ago.
Yeah, I think he already has. Yeah.
Yep.
Is because now didn't they say that they have to stand the entire time during
I
this
thought
debate?
that was it, that they were not
yeah.
going to let them sit down, which
Yeah,
is going to
it's
be
in the- at a
crazy
podium.
for President Biden's dexterity.
Oh my
All
god.
that blood going to his legs and not to his brain is really gonna, lead to some interesting stuff.
That's just
I'm
gravity.
pretty sure that they're gonna blood dope him, like Lance Armstrong did.
Yeah.
They put him in like a cryogenic, freezer mabob in high altitudes, the pressure
testicles.
chamber. And they're gonna pump him full of extra blood before he gets on there, super oxygenated. That way his legs are sturdy, shirt is ready, bomb spaghetti.
You know what? I
Yeah.
don't think you're wrong. And also, originally there was supposed to be a drug test, but apparently he opted out. From what I've heard, that Biden opted out of the drug test because they probably had to pump him full of a shit ton of stimulants to get him to
Yeah.
exist.
Just exist. That's all.
Uh-oh, we might have lost Trout.
Uh-oh.
He just DC'd.
Up. That's
Yep.
see, you got to watch what you say. They're
Yeah.
coming after us.
They
It's
are.
corn pop, gang.
Well,
President Biden sent corn pop to get us.
CNN apparently is going after YouTube channels. Originally, we were only going to do this on X, AC, because they were going after YouTube channels with copyright strikes, even though this is obviously fair use to cover a debate. It's in the public interest as well.
Yeah, par for the course. CNN is all about free speech, guys. As long as you
Obviously.
pay for it. But then after that, it's free.
Yeah.
And, it just makes sense. Who would want people to watch CNN and talk about the thing that CNN's doing? You wouldn't want that type of publicity,
Yeah.
Why would you want everybody watching and live streaming, reacting to your channel with your commercials in it? Why would you want that? Why would you want more people doing that? I don't know.
I see it as an ultimate good to be able to just have,
It's nice. It's nice
more.
to know they're not in it for the money. That just tells them that they're in it for the journalism.
Yeah,
Hey,
no.
Hey, real quick, Tack.
What's up?
Are we sure that this is the stream for the debate? Because it's
9
8
o'clock.
right now.
Okay,
Yep.
it is supposed to be what the debate is, but let me just open it up and we'll go to the debate because this is what presidential debate.
I'm told USA Today is also live streaming it on their YouTube channel, and
Okay,
that they're
so
not
maybe-
taking anybody down.
Just moments. The current
USA Today, because they said that they
Correct.
weren't letting they weren't letting any media in. Is what I heard.
Yeah, and I also heard that they are allowing 2 guests from each campaign to be in the room.
Oh no, he's 100% right. AC is right.
This debate is being produced
All
by
right, so we got it.
CNN
You guys
and is
hear it?
coming to you live on CNN, CNN International, CNN.com, CNN Max,
All
and
right, so
CNN
let's really quick go to
Espanol.
this. I'm gonna
This
just
is
swap
a
over to the
pivotal
3
moment
people
between
media,
President Joe Biden and former
we'll
President
get this
Donald
going,
Trump
and I'm just
in their
gonna make
rematch for the
AC
nation's highest
pop
office.
you into there.
Each will make his case to the American people with just
And
over
there
4
we
months
go.
until Election Day. Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics and
So-
co-anchor of State of
I'm
the
being
Union.
told
I'm Greg
that
Tapper, anchor of
that
CNN's
King
The
Trout's
Lead and co-anchor of
shitty
State of the Union.
non-iPhone
Dana and I will
overheated.
co-moderate
See,
this
but here's
evening.
the
Our
thing.
job is
I
to
also don't
facilitate
have an
a
iPhone,
debate
I'm sorry to say.
between the two candidates
All right.
tonight.
And I
Before
have
we
far
introduce
less
them, we want to share the
problems than
rules
when I
of the
did
debate
have an
with the
iPhone.
audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left
So,
side of the screen.
I mean, yes,
President
his
Biden
might
will be
be shitty.
appearing
Which one
on
does
the
he
right.
have?
A coin toss
I don't know. I just
determined
rip
their
on him
positions.
because he's adorable.
Each candidate will
I know
have
you
2
do.
minutes
It's
to answer
beautiful.
a
I hope you
question
by
care.
the way, liked
and
your
1
Angry
minute
Cop
each for
song.
responses and rebuttals.
What's that?
An additional minute
Did you
for
like the
follow-up
Angry Cop song?
clarification or
I
I
response
did. It made me giggle.
is
It was
at
a little
the
long.
moderator's
It was a little long.
discretion.
We got to trim that thing down.
When it's
Okay.
time for
It
a
was pretty good.
candidate to speak,
All right.
his
All right, as long as you
microphone will
enjoyed
be
it, that's
turned
all that
on
matters.
and his opponent's microphone will be turned off.
All right, so we
Should
got
a
the debate. Can you
candidate
hear it, by the way,
interrupt when
everybody?
his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes
Let's
for
see.
closing statements. There is no studio audience tonight. Pre-written notes, props, or contact with campaign staff are not
Go.
permitted during the debate. By accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept
Who are the
these
hosts
rules.
for the debate? Who's
Now,
the,
please welcome
is it Tapper?
the 46th President of the United
Yeah, those
States,
two,
Joe
if I'm not
Biden.
mistaken.
It's these two? Okay.
Correct.
All right, well, he found the podium.
That's half the battle.
That is half the battle.
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
God, he's walking out like it's a WWE. Just play Stone Cold's music right now.
Is my audio actually low? Because I can adjust that real quick.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and
I
let's
would say
start with the
slightly
issue
lower
that
the,
voters consistently say is their top concern,
media?
the economy.
Yeah.
President Biden, inflation has
Yes.
slowed,
Okay,
but
awesome.
prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And
It's more than
typical
that.
home prices have
Way
jumped
more
more than
than that.
30%. What do you say to voters who feel
You
they
see
are
that guy
worse
from
off
Walmart?
under
It
your
quadrupled.
presidency than they were under President Trump?
Yeah.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled.
That's
Many
true.
people were dying. All he said was, "It's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right."
Oh my
The economy
God.
collapsed. There were no jobs.
I feel like that's a
Unemployment
ticket
rate
shot.
rose to 15%.
There were no jobs?
It was terrible.
During a
And
pandemic.
So what we had to do is try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do.
God, he
Created
sounds so
15,000 new jobs.
Weak and
We
defeated.
brought out in a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing
He's so
jobs.
nervous right
But
now.
There's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of household.
I hate
where the
that he's in
kitchen
my
tables,
state.
Things weren't able to be met during the month. It was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. That we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build
He
2
sounds
million new
like
units.
he's about to
We're gonna make
keel
sure we
over right
cap
now.
rents so corporate greed can't take over.
Dude, we're not even, like,
Combination
60
of
seconds into
collective
this
corporate
thing.
greed is the reason why
This
we're
is
in
bad.
this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together.
He's just
We
dying to
created
say
those
wrong.
jobs. We made
Yeah,
sure we
he
have a
wants to
situation
just
where
interject so
we
bad.
now- we brought down the price of prescription
Uh-oh.
drugs, which is amazing, to $15 for a insulin, which is $400.
Trump
No
did
senior
that.
has to pay
He
more than
rescinded it
$200
and then
for
re-added
any
it.
Drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. And the situation is and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price of around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you, President Trump.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent
true.
the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good.
That's
but
accurate.
the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is
We haven't
absolutely
even hit
killing us.
pre-COVID levels
Thank you,
for
President
jobs,
Biden.
right? I think we're
Well, look,
still
the greatest
technically
economy
below
in
it.
the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that we found ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover.
Because of
The idea
COVID.
that
Like,
he did something
can't-
that was significant.
You can't blame
Like, you know,
that
he's
on
it's,
him.
You know,
he's correct,
when he was
right?
president, they were
It's
still
it
killing people
irritates me
in
when people
Afghanistan.
act like
He didn't
COVID
do
was just like a
anything
normal
about that.
year. Like, oh, he
When
lost all
was
his jobs.
president, we
Like,
still find ourselves in a
COVID.
position
Everybody
where
freaked
It was a
out.
massive
Right.
thing that
Notion that
nobody was
we were
prepared
a
for,
safe
that
country.
no one could
Truth
have
is,
handled
I'm the only president
well.
this century
It's unprecedented.
that doesn't have any this decade that done any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can. You
Am I
want
allowed to respond to
13?
him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can
By the
do
way,
whatever
what
you want
was
with
the
minute that we
deficit
give you.
created under Trump?
I want to follow up. You want
Yeah,
to
he said
impose a 10%
he made the biggest
tariff on
deficit.
all
I mean, I
goods
think
coming
maybe
into the
because
US.
of like the COVID
How
bailouts
will you
for
ensure
everybody.
that doesn't
Which
drive
he
prices
continued,
even
though.
higher?
Not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others. In all fairness,
China
to
got a
China,
drink.
it's
That's a
gonna
shot.
just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest rate in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. Now, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
That's not wrong.
President Trump,
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. That's a good freeze on his face.
It is a fantastic freeze on his face.
He brought up Afghanistan.
He doesn't even know where he is. I genuinely don't think that Biden knows where he is.
President Biden, you've approved
$4.3
billion in new debt. So former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law
By the
are
way,
set
this
to
is the
expire
web player
next
that's
year.
borking.
You want to extend them and go even.
That's the actual web player that's borking.
Because there's too many people watching it and they can't handle it.
It's just a server side
It's
issue.
the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID.
Let me see if I can turn the.
it was so strong that we were able to get.
I'm going to turn the quality to 720 so we
much
can at
better
least.
than just about any other country.
Yep.
But we spurred that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before. And we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet.
When he shut down the pipeline, like his first like 6 months. Yeah.
We did a lot to fix it.
Biden did that, and he told everybody, "I'm not going to do it." And then did immediately.
And then gas prices rose. They tripled. Nearly.
We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration.
Oh my God.
Even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you,
talk about
not
kicking
only
out the
we're
military
there,
members.
but throughout the entire
I
world,
forgot
we're no
that they
longer
actually did
respected
that, and
as a
that's
country.
still- there was a
they
guy
don't respect
recently,
our
right?
leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between.
Do you want to try to do the CNN YouTube video?
I'm going to see if I can pull it up and see if it's better.
It is better. I
It is
just did.
better? Okay, so let me, okay. So we'll pull up CNN and we're just going to say it's on YouTube.
They can screw off.
You saying it's on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I just checked.
Okay, so we're going to go to the CNN YouTube feed because apparently it is better. I see Timcast is also doing this. I know Brandon is also doing his, what do you call him?
He was in a space.
A space.
X space? Yeah.
Yeah, an X space. Okay, so we got
SpaceX, X space.
Either one of those numbers. They've raised $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to write.
Well, it looks better on my end.
We'd be able to help make sure
It's
that
better.
all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look.
Short circuit. Short circuit.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Well, yeah, he did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying
Damn!
Medicare. Because
Did they just
all
cut
of
him
these
off and
people
just
are
say,
coming
well,
in. They're putting them on Medicare.
There's 2 minutes.
They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected.
All of my friends in Europe
us.
are like,
We give
dude,
them everything they
your
want, and
country's
they
in like
think we're
massive
stupid.
hell.
They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Tana?
This is the first
Is that 2
presidential
minutes?
election since the
Think so.
Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court.
Which is huge.
And they happened to vote in favor of
massive.
Yeah, one
killing
president,
Roe v.
3.
Wade
Yeah.
and moving it back to the states. This is
Didn't
something that
Ginsburg also say
everybody
she
wanted.
regretted the
10 years
decision
ago or
before
so,
she
they started
passed?
talking
She
about
said it was
how many
improper.
leaks and how many
Improper.
this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that.
Yep.
Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now,
Independently
the
governed
control
states.
it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing
Ralph,
to do this.
whatever his
he
name
said,
was.
We'll put the baby aside and we'll
I
determine
can't remember
what
his
we
name.
do with the baby. Meaning
It's like Ralph something.
What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you.
I
President
agree
Biden?
with that wholeheartedly. It should be a states' rights issue.
The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in. They talk about.
So we're talking about
Here's the
abortion.
deal.
Yeah, no, okay, he changed
Young women
subjects.
to be raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters.
He just said that he supports exceptions for
It's just
rape and
ridiculous.
incest.
And they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
Wow, they actually
They're
called
done
him.
with them.
Murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. Consider the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which, frankly, they didn't. But they would have. Everybody wanted it brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back.
Did Reagan want it brought
Many
back to the
presidents
States?
had tried
I'm not
to get
sure.
it.
I know that he was
I was the one to
a little
do
bit
it
bigger
because
on
this gives it the vote of the
taking
people, and that's what
power
they
away from the
wanted.
federal
Every
government.
legal
Yeah.
scholar wanted
Although,
it
you know,
that
the
way.
Contras would
Staying on the topic
Maybe
of abortion,
not.
President Biden,
Yeah,
7
yeah.
states,
I still blame him for
I'll let you
machine
do
guns.
that. This is the same
Yeah.
topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy
lack
a
thereof.
woman can obtain an abortion.
Yeah, New York's
This
one
is
of them.
Support
Based-
any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I supported Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision.
Yeah.
A doctor should be making those decisions.
No.
That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
You haven't done it yet.
You can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen.
Horrendous.
Democrat or Republican, nobody wants it to happen.
They cut away.
No, there's a
from
bunch
him
of Democrats that want that to happen.
There are a ton of Democrats who want that to happen.
There's New York State, 9 months. You can kill it up to 9 months, which is ridiculous.
It's insane.
That can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period. Period.
I don't know.
Explain New York.
Late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We
Trump's
don't
right.
think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, Constitutional Scholarship said it was the right way to go.
So was slavery. Like,
and it was taken away.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like,
laws
it doesn't mean
don't dictate morality.
Exactly. Yes, law does not dictate morality.
What's he going to do? In fact,
sadly,
if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period.
They can't do that
6 weeks
because he's given the power to the states.
Very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill?
They would have to change the Constitution, correct?
They'd have to make it back to federal, and then they could do that.
Yes.
President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns.
Just one look at Texas tells you that.
Why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly, by the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position.
No, the Border Patrol union did. The union head.
When he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure...
That was Obama.
That was under you, too, guys.
That was Obama and you.
What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office.
Because you're making them legal.
Move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said.
Oh, my God.
We have the safest border in the history of our country.
Look at his
All he
face.
had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere. All over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that.
Yeah.
They endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in his administration, killed three American soldiers, killed 3 American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
One day ago from the House.gov, ISIS-connected people have been stopped at the border.
The largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. and it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous,
He's not wrong.
insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before.
Not the most creative, but all right.
It, like these three incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and he just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place
Look
in
at
our
his
country.
face.
We're literally
He looks so worried.
an
He
uncivilized country now.
doesn't look like
doesn't
somebody
want
who
it to be. He just
knows what's
doesn't know.
going on.
He opened the borders. Nobody's
Yes.
ever seen it.
He's really focused right now.
And we have to get a lot of these people
No,
out,
with the
and we have to
12-year-old,
get
I
them
think
out
he's
fast,
talking about the
because
Houston
they're gonna
girl, correct?
destroy our country. Just
Possibly.
take a
I
look
believe
at where
so.
they're living.
Yeah.
They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all, and he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had
Like
the
sending them
highest
to
approval
war.
rating for veterans, taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our
I'll be right
border
back.
by
I'm
allowing
still
all
listening.
of these people
Go
to
for
come
it.
in.
President
And it's a
Biden?
very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now
PACT
have
Act is-
insurance, and their families have.
You
I don't
you
like
know
the
more
PACT
about
Act.
this, AZ.
Because what happened?
Yeah. Now, the
whether
PACT
it's
Act says one of the
for
things that it says is that you can only use the VA or
burn
not-for-profits for a
cover
VA
now.
claim.
And he
That's not
opposes
good.
who
That
could
prevents
oppose
us
that.
from choice.
We're also in a
But the
situation
Plus
where,
Act, which allows
with
us
respect
to
to
use
my speech,
verified
spent a year in Iraq.
for-profit businesses to
Later on,
assist
I
us in
saw
VA
him
claims.
came
That's
back with
That's
states
better.
for
Is that
agreeing.
what
Yeah.
the veteran with the sign was talking about?
that's what
old-
him and I talked
Yeah.
about for a couple videos.
For
Yeah,
D-Day.
okay, yeah.
And I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
What?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up, and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We
A
had
general would
19
punch him in the
people
fucking
that
mouth.
said it was never said by me.
If he said that,
It
correct?
was made up by him.
I mean, I don't
Just
think he'd
like
I
punch
would
the
hope
commander in
so.
chief in the mouth, but he'd probably
Just
say,
like the 51
you need to get the fuck out of here.
intelligence
There
agents
definitely would be words.
Just like the
There
new
would be
thing where the
words.
16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation.
Oh, here it comes!
He made up the suckers.
He
and
opened the door.
losers, so
Yes, he
should
did.
apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what
You're not
we're
really doing that, though.
That's what
Yeah,
the
to
do
VA
that in
is doing now.
Afghanistan?
They're doing more for veterans
The
than ever
Afghanistan
before.
withdrawal that he botched.
All right,
Oh
thank
my
you so much.
God.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former
This should be
President Trump,
interesting.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand. They think he's the worst commander.
Well, we
Shots
got one in
fired.
chat right now, AC. Is that true?
Listen, I'm still serving. I can't.
You
I
can't.
can. I gotta watch what I say. As an
Fair.
individual, like as a civilian, I can say a lot of things. I can say that I will not be voting for President Biden. I can say that.
Okay, fair enough.
That's fair.
That is a fair response.
He would have never invaded.
What is his face?
A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind, too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never.
He didn't.
Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money.
That's actually a good point. I wonder how, the amount of terror attacks that happened in Israel during his presidency. That would be a good
During Trump's presidency.
During
Biden's.
Trump's.
But during Trump's.
The matter is that we're in a
I
situation.
think there was just a
where
handful of
people
little
ask
conflicts here and there.
Iran attacked American
I'll pull it up.
Caused brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president, they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing.
I don't even know what he's talking about. Whether or not it's true or not, I just don't know what he's talking about.
Well, he keeps changing subjects mid-sentence.
Of Afghanistan.
Actually, we're supposed to drink for that. Fuck.
Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, do whatever you want, and that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want, and he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish, Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I
if
never
come back
said
to you
that.
for 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine?
Acceptable. No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky
isolated incidents in Gaza, by the way, during Trump.
He's the greatest salesman ever.
No invasions, none of that.
I'm not knocking anything.
Right.
I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled.
There's some confidence.
People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then do you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if he's
not going to go after the NATO countries.
No, there's no way. He knows that's a losing war.
In fact, he does what he says and walks away. By the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas
I don't know if I really
Israel
like that
Yeah,
answer.
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
people and taking hundreds of hostages.
This
Among
is why
those
it's so
held
bad
and
to have
thought
no
to still
audience
be
as
alive
well,
are
because you don't
5
get to hear the
Israel's
reactions as
response
well.
has killed
Right.
thousands of Palestinians,
I don't know. I kind of like it.
including
You get to make up your own mind. You don't get to go with the
President Biden
groupthink. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's a
put
fair
forward
It's a
my
little
point.
opinion.
refreshing.
My opinion.
It's a
to
little
resolve
refreshing.
this conflict.
I
But
think
so far,
there's
Hamas
pros and
has
cons to
not
everything.
released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military
seems a little bit
offensive in
smoother.
Gaza.
Right?
So what additional
Much
To really
faster
jump
pace.
into each thing. This is a
Yeah.
this is a
to
good
get
debate.
Hamas and Israel to end the war. You
I'm
have
actually
2 minutes.
surprised that they're
Number
cutting
one,
the way they are with
Everyone
Biden
from
actually
the
killing his
United
time.
Nations Security Council, straight through to the G7, to the Israelis, and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward. Which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one, they're the only ones standing out. We're
Abraham
still
Accords
pushing
under
hard
Trump.
to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened in Israel? We're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so they're 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been
Which
greatly
he
weakened.
said no to.
Greatly weakened,
Yeah.
and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for using certain weapons among population centers.
Just started a poll in the chat to see who's offering better solutions in the chat's mind.
The European nations together have spent 100
That's not gonna be
billion
biased
or
or
maybe
anything.
more than
No.
that, less than us. Why
Still good
doesn't
to
he call
gauge.
them and say you got to put up your money
Sure.
like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. You wouldn't, they
I don't know
wouldn't
if
have
that's
any
true.
deal going out of
I'm not
business.
sure
We were
about
spending
that. I don't
know.
100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian. But they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
Holy shit! Oh my
Never
God!
makes foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. You're going to stay in NATO? He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have our
NATO was to
strength
stop
and our alliances as well.
uh,
It may be a big ocean, but we're
communism
able to
going
avoid a war
into
in Europe, a
going
major
the rest
war
of
in
Europe.
What happens
It
if,
ain't.
in fact, you have
Yeah,
continue
I mean they
to
did
go
it on their
into
own.
NATO.
once
to
the
some
Berlin
degree.
Wall
Climate
fell,
agreement.
I mean,
Attack on one is attack
what's
on
the point of
all.
NATO?
You
Not
want to
trade?
start the nuclear war he keeps talking
We're gonna
about.
start a
Go
war
ahead.
for trade?
Well, also,
Let Putin
we
go in and
fund the
control
majority of it because
Ukraine
it's based on
and then
GDP.
move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to
They've
see
tried
that
it like
before we do that.
7 times with
The
Israel.
problem
It's been
we have-
And each
offered.
time
They spend all
Hamas and the
money.
Palestinians have said
So
no.
they kill us
Yeah.
on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have. But we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this.
He's accurate.
Said, no, I'm not going to support NATO.
You told him, what was it, 3% of their GDP?
Would you guard us against Russia at a very
something like that
meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about
We're not a
January 6th,
democracy.
2021. After you
We're a democratic republic, are we not?
We're a constitutional
republic.
Yeah.
Constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes.
Dalton and I had a long conversation about this last night.
Preserve, protect,
and you have a video on it, I believe.
What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th.
Yep.
On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to
It's smart to pivot away from.
I was gonna say, yeah, that was pretty good.
Is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
Dude,
you have 80 seconds left. My question was,
he's
what
on
do you
point.
say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inactions on January 6th, 2021?
He said peacefully assemble.
Yeah, all you have to do is repeat what he tweeted.
To anybody. I said
it's still up.
There it is.
And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard.
Yep.
And she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it, too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, you can't be very happy.
It was the same thing with active police officers. They were trying to get more police officers there, and the mayor denied it.
Didn't the National Guard, when they were eventually called in, also live in horrible conditions as well?
Yeah, the politicians treated them like shit, and they put them in parking garages, and then didn't take care of them.
Yeah.
3 hours watching, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences. And
I will say some of the people that got convicted, it was super heavy-handed, like 9-10 years, because they broke a window and got into a government building.
Was it lectern guy?
Yeah. Like some of it was just like egregious. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, shout out to him. He followed me on Twitter today.
Yes.
Should be in jail, and they should be the ones.
But there were also those people that were convicted that weren't even there. They just tweeted about it or did a live stream about it.
Thank you, President Biden.
Got charged, which is insane.
What they've done to
people were just there documenting.
So innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
People who just touched a table or a chair or something.
So many people.
Yep.
When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down
Portland's in such a bad state.
You go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard
what was that little
they left immediately.
Chaz,
thank you.
Said about
you know exactly where I was going with.
Is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing. The Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man.
Oh, there it is.
Not convicted yet.
Take a shot.
Or is he?
No, he was convicted of the misdemeanors that they upgraded to felonies
No effort on
as a
his part.
secondary
Even
crime.
ex-Governor Cuomo was like, don't do this. This is
Even
bad.
CNN said that was
You're like-
bullshit.
Every one of those was convicted, just turned over desks, turned them over statues. The idea that those people are patriots, come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had,
God damn
the
it.
first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boys? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing to
There's the
will
come
we
on, man.
denounce these guys? We denounce the people we're talking about now? We denounce the people who attacked that Capitol? What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political
Biden opened the
opponent
door.
is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon. Take
a drink.
Going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important
Very
things.
true.
But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things
He's
that
not
he's
wrong.
done. He's
No,
done
he's
horrible
100%
things.
correct.
Any president.
All of the death caused
Obama
at the border,
for killing
telling
Americans.
the Ukrainian
Yep.
people,
Drone strikes.
we're going to want $1 billion,
Yep.
or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor, having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President
agree
Biden,
with that.
you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea
Did he say anything?
that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president.
He said retribution
is
through
wrong.
success.
It's simply wrong. No president's ever
Like you would with
spoken
an
like that
axe.
before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about?
That's a good jab.
An alley cat.
Yep, no, it's fair. I'll give him this good jab.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor
Treated it
were
like
all
a
high-ranking
reality show.
Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam, and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump
52.8 million is how much he raised after he was convicted.
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you heard any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? you ever hear any presidents say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again. Until
Because of Iraq. Oh, yeah, he had cancer, which I think they attributed to burn pits, maybe.
On torches.
Yeah, he had brain cancer, right?
And singing the same
That's some sort of cancer.
Yeah.
Sang when
And then
back in
Hunter
Germany.
slept with his widow.
A young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him. They said, "What do you think of those people? The people the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones," he said, "I think they're fine people on both sides." What American
That's been debunked.
president would ever say?
Yeah.
Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas.
Which Snopes
were fine
debunked.
Also
This
debunked.
Last
guy
week.
says Hitler's
Yeah.
done some good things.
Finally.
I'd like to know what they are.
Took him a while,
Good things
but
Hitler's done. That's what he said.
I'm surprised he's still going with that
Makes
after
sense
Snopes
for
came out with it.
democracy.
I think he knows that he'll get away with it with his
Both of
base.
You know that, sir, has been totally
Yeah.
wiped out, because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on this. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We
Accurate.
have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency, he's without question the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We
Biden
should be
is
having
old.
a debate as an excuse.
All right, there we
to
go.
run.
Now it's reconnected.
President Biden?
And debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen
This
to what
is
was
live,
said
right?
at the time.
Yeah, we're
And
good.
the
We're good.
idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran.
Is there any
I
way
ran
you can go
because I was
back?
worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they
no,
were
I
good
don't-
people
I don't
coming out of
know.
that
You might be able to.
And
Yeah,
the
let me see.
idea-
Has debunked it, and just
There
the
we
other
go.
day
Perfect.
it came out.
That's
where
right
it was
about where it
fully
came out.
Debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
President Biden?
and debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the
Exactly.
idea that somehow that's the only reason I
It is
ran.
debunked.
I
Oh,
ran because
brother,
I was
you're
worried
dying on a
about
hill where
this guy
everybody
being
said-
elected. If he
Oh.
thought they were good people coming out of
Yeah.
that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about, all this
What
being
is that?
fabricated.
That's
You
mine,
saw
sorry.
it
I'm gonna
online.
mute
Oh,
it.
man, I thought it was on the TV. I was
You
like,
saw the
ooh.
people breaking-
My
You
bad.
saw people
That would have been funny.
His own
That would've
vice
been funny.
president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why?
Pence
Why?
still
They know
in
him well.
politics?
They serve with him. Why are they endorsing him?
Barely. He's hanging on by
Thank
a
you,
thread.
President Biden. We're
Yeah.
gonna be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
All right, so we got an
Break time.
ad. So what's everybody thinking right now?
I wish I
Biden
could
is
see your
old.
chat right now. You know what? I need to pull it up.
Yeah, pull up the chat because the chat right now is I put up a poll that said, do you believe that Trump should be convicted? And then it is 88% no, 89% no, 11% yes. And then there was a poll that said, who do you believe is giving better answers to what the country needs right now? And 99% said Trump. Yeah, it's obviously not. There's definitely bias within my community because most.
Well, I
of
was
them
gonna
are-
say, who's the one who's dissenting from all the majority opinion?
and they're
Like,
free
I want
to.
to know who they
Here's
are.
the thing: they're free
Yeah,
to.
they
It's a
are,
free
absolutely.
country.
Absolutely, but it's like it's cool if people are truly like I don't know if it's an accident or not, and they're hitting the wrong button.
Yeah.
But it's like it's cool if they are actually the dissenting opinion, and they're watching this.
Yeah. Now, I will say I'm actually very surprised at how CNN has not. I thought they would mute the mics a lot more for Trump. I genuinely did.
Same. He's. I think Trump Jr. came out and basically said this is a good format for my father, and I mean I kind of agree. I mean he's very disciplined right now,
He is extremely.
and it's coming
disciplined.
across very well.
I agree.
I will also say that it does seem like Biden has kind of, on a couple of occasions so far, transitioned between two completely disconnected thoughts, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain
There was a
it.
really big gaffe in the beginning where he teetered off and just stopped. And then it was the first time Trump called him out on it. It was like, I don't even know what he just said.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty good. Gentlemen, it's been fantastic. I am going to have to pull the plug on this one. I've got stuff to do in the morning, justice to dispense. But
All
I
right.
appreciate you having me on.
Thank you so
Enjoy
much
the
for
rest
joining
of
us.
the live chat.
Thank you so much. And to you, AC, thank you and God bless.
Yes.
Have a good one, bud.
Cheers.
See you later, weirdos.
Have a good one. We are a bunch of weirdos, aren't we?
We are a bit of we are a bit weird. We're gonna get transition to the screen, everybody. That was AC. We did, of course, have King Trout with us for a little bit. But apparently his phone overheated. Now, I don't know if that's due to the Texas heat or he bought a really shitty phone. But I did message him and say thank you for popping on.
Either way, he's hanging out with failed, what was it? What did he say? A failed congressman or whatever?
Failed Congressman Brandon Herrera.
Candidate?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, congressional candidate Brandon Herrera. So
they're watching the debate. They're having a good time.
Well, they're all at the bar. I'm sure it's him, Donut, probably. You know, it's probably the group.
I think he said that.
Yeah.
Yep. Good group. It's a good group to watch this debate and just drink beer and laugh.
No, apparently he has an
with.
Android, Dan. Apparently he has an Android. And thank you once again to AC for joining us. It was wonderful having you on. It's always good to have another perspective. I think really, especially like the military's perspective, because when they were talking about, you know, who was better for veterans, you know, I know that AC can't say necessarily everything he wants to, but you know, he gave an answer, and I think
just him being there and kind of giving the answer that he did.
Yes,
it was great.
It was very, very good.
It was probably the best timing for him to pop on. So that was perfect.
See, here's the thing. I have an Android and I've never had this thing overheat, and it's been on a roof with me. So I don't know what kind of Android fucking Trout's got, but
yeah, I've got an iPhone 13, I believe. I've never had any iPhone that I've ever owned overheat on me.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
All right, looks like it's starting back up.
You both faced in your first terms, and you'd certainly face again in a second.
I'm gonna go piss real quick. I'm still listening.
Biden, while
No
black
worries.
unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, black families still earn far less than white families. Black mothers are still 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes, and black Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small black businesses that have been started than any time in history. Number two, the wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're trying to provide housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. In addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that black families have to make relative to child care is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past, I was able to reduce black child care costs. I cut them in half.
Did he actually do that, Dalton?
Child care costs. We got to make sure.
I don't know what he's talking about at the moment.
Child care protections. You increase.
I don't know that I was following even whether or not that's true or not.
So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to black?
He's like, oh God, no, don't give that to me.
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any black family, first-time home buyer, should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started.
Well, you also changed it so then people with good credit have to subsidize people with bad credit, correct?
Yeah, something like that, if I remember correctly.
Race regardless, just economic differences. Yeah.
Do with volunteerism. If they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest was forgiven after 10 years. Millions of.
By the way, Dalton, just check Discord real quick.
Do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right. It's been very bad.
Ooh.
He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families.
That would be cool.
And just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore.
The guy went to Walmart and he said that his $126 order or whatever was like $480
from years ago, and then he did the reorder and it was like $400. It was like triple.
triple or quadruple. It was insane.
Exactly. It was wild. I believe it, because I mean, I see the same thing where I live.
Oh, debate volume up. No worries.
Black people is the millions of
That
people
means
that
us
he's allowed
down.
to come in through the border. They're taking
Got it.
black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people.
Is that better?
They're taking black jobs, and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was
Because of
flat
Trump.
on its back. 50% unemployment. He decimated the economy. Absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time.
Stock market all-time high, gas prices all-time low, production all-time high, domestic production all-time high. Absolute bullshit.
Sure that they have health insurance. We have covered. If the ACA has increased, I made sure that they're $8,000 per person in the family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They've tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again, and they're going to try again.
The ACA needs to be
We find
destroyed.
ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure.
Fuck
people have a
equity.
shot
Oh my
to make it.
God.
There's a lot going on, but in inflation,
It's just a
he caused
buzzword
it
at this
by
point.
his
It really
tremendous
is.
They love to say it.
handle the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis.
The Border Control Union,
2023
really
was the
quick,
hottest
has
year in
tweeted
recorded
saying, to be
history,
clear,
and
we have
communities
never
across
and will
the
never
country are
endorse
confronting the
Biden.
devastating effects of
Oh,
extreme heat,
shoot.
The border can,
That's
just letting you
amazing.
know, thank you,
stronger
Shell, for
hurricanes,
sending
and
that to
rising
me.
sea levels.
Well
Former
played.
President Trump, you've vowed to end your
So I was
opponent's
wrong on that.
climate
I will
initiatives, but
rescind
will you
my
take
statement
any
about the
action
union.
as president to slow the climate crisis.
Well, let me just go back to what he said about the police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done
That is
to
true.
the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name, and he called it to them for 10, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job. Great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population because he's done a horrible job.
That is
for black
true.
people. He's
Trump's
also done a horrible job
Trump's
for
up like
Hispanics.
what was it,
But
12
when you see
points or
these
some
millions of people
like
pouring
I can't
into our
remember.
country, and they're going to take
Yeah.
this
But yeah,
up,
he's up.
and it's already
He's
started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
You've 38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that anything he said is true. I've passed the most.
He's been here the entire time.
He's been here the entire time, and everything he said is verifiably true. Like,
we find ourselves, and by the way, black colleges. I came up with $15 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges, because they don't have those. They don't have the kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just don't have the money, but now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water, he hadn't done a damn thing for the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it.
Paris
Because
Peace
if we
Accord.
reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, there's no way back. The only
Remember,
existential
everybody,
threat to
more
humanity is
taxes
climate
lowers the
change. If he didn't
temperature,
do a damn
right?
thing
Just
about it,
remember.
I must undo all that I've done.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like,
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion.
Yes.
And
by the
China
way.
nothing, and Russia
It does,
nothing,
does
and
not.
India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States.
It is.
And I ended it because I didn't.
We are
want to
not
waste that
the
money
global
because they treat us horribly.
we are
ones
not
who's
the global
costing us money.
contributor to
Nobody
the
else was
climate
paying into it.
crisis.
And it
We
was a-
we
it was
actually
a
are very low on that totem pole
Everything
because
that
we've
he
already
said just
met
now, I'll give
well
you an example.
below
I
the
heard him say before,
goals
insulin. I'm the
of
one
what
that
they're
got the
claiming.
insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the,
call
I have
Biden a
the
senior.
biggest heart
That's
on
all
the
I
stage,
want.
I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people.
That's all
But
you
we're
want?
destroying our
Is that your
country.
bingo?
They're taking over our schools, our hospitals.
That would be
They're gonna taking
hilarious.
over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who were not members of the Paris Accord.
Hey, what's
How
up,
can we
man?
do anything if we're not able
Oh,
to, the United
do we
States
have
can't put
we have another
control.
person
One of the
joining
largest
us?
polluters
Yes,
in
we
the
do.
world.
We do have a
Number
guest.
one.
We
Our
do have a
records
guest.
need to be
What's going
published.
on?
By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half.
Sorry to
How
interrupt.
are you?
We've made significant
You're not
progress.
interrupting
good.
at all.
We'll continue to make
Give me a second.
Set
Let
up
me
a
just
climate accord.
add you
So
into
thousands
the
of young people
scenes.
learn how to deal with climate, just like the Peace Corps.
Yeah, I didn't figure I was interrupting much considering where we're at, where we're listening to today. I can't actually hear Biden say a fucking
But the
word.
idea
I
is
really don't. That doesn't surprise me
mumbling.
because he's mumbling so bad.
Really concerned about,
Yep.
about
Listen, Aaron, look at this guy. Everything my phone said was a lie. Was a lie. And I, no, he sounds like a fucking geriatric dog.
He really does, and I'm glad that you. Because here's the thing: AC was on earlier, and obviously he's restricted because he's in the military from necessarily voicing all of his opinions. He did still, but you know, you're able to say a lot more. No, never, would never happen.
President Biden.
Oh, we also have another guest as well.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Donut. Donut.
What's up,
for
man?
you.
Hello. What are we doing?
Well, we are reacting to the wonderful presidential debate between a geriatric and somebody who still has a couple brain cells running up there.
right now.
Can I curse?
Everybody making under 170,000.
By all fucking means.
6%.
I don't understand a fucking word that is coming out of his mouth right now.
Same.
Neither do I. It is the most.
I'm not,
I don't even know how to describe it.
Incoherent. The word you're looking for is incoherent. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
incoherent's a good
understand
word.
what the fuck this man is saying right now.
Yeah.
Not even
I mean,
he
I'm
knows.
I'm like 3 or 4 beers deep, and I don't understand what the fuck this man is saying right now.
I am 12 deep, so I'm right there with you, and it has nothing to do with the beers, I assure you.
Can I point something out crazy that I see?
Sure.
Like, I'm not a drug recognition expert. I know I was never qualified in that.
Yeah.
But Biden's eyes, the horizontal gaze nystagmus that he's getting, where his fucking pupils are just twitching, they've got him on some kind of stimulant right now.
Well, originally
Okay.
there was
Doesn't
supposed to be a
surprise me.
drug test, and I believe that he backed out of that at the last second.
You're correct.
Bro,
Yeah.
you can see it. You can fucking see it, man. I would have
Yeah.
put him in fucking jail. I would have put him in handcuffs if I pulled him over if he was driving the car.
Yeah,
But his eyes are just fucking, they're doing the thing.
I would pay to see that.
I would actually also pay to see that.
Anyways, Mr. Turtleneck, it was great seeing you, buddy.
Wonderful seeing you. God bless
Bye.
all
Bye,
of you.
Donut. Yeah, sorry my phone overheated in the Texas sun.
What Android do you have, by the way? I just need to know real quick.
What's that?
What Android do you have?
Android.
Yeah, AC said you have an Android.
No, I get pussy. I have an iPhone.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess I don't get pussy then. Damn it. Fuck.
You guess?
I guess. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask my wife again. It's weird. So.
Oh, you got a wife. You definitely don't get pussy.
Yeah, no fucking way, dude.
Love you, buddy.
Love you.
God,
Yeah, look.
This debate has been fucking painful, to be honest. Like, the amount of times, like, we're over here at like a Republican themed bar here in San Antonio, and the amount of times that I have heard people just fucking go apeshit anytime Biden loses track of his train of thought has been incredible.
It is, but here's the thing: he has gone from like subject to subject to just delusion.
Yeah,
and then
he jumps around a little bit.
Have you seen when he's getting angry as well? He keeps like it's like it's actually,
he gets tensed up.
Yeah, it's like a dementia patient that's being told to remember something. It's bad. It's
yeah. Well, what do you mean? I don't have pudding. It's Thursday.
No ice cream. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Man, let me tell you, Jack. Thursday's mint chocolate chip day.
Yep.
You're not wrong.
Well, like my favorite part is that like every time he starts out is just like everything my opponent said was a lie. It's like, oh, well, like, will you mind explaining that? I don't have to, Jack.
And everything he said is verifiably true. Like these are things that even CNN has confirmed as true. It's insane that he is not doing well.
No, I would love to see a very liberal leaning watch party of the debate and see how they think it's going.
Oh, actually, that's a really great. I'm because I mean I know that you were doing a Twitter Space earlier. I hope that went well.
Yeah, no, it was great. I was with Nick Sorter, I believe, and Sebastian Gorka and a couple members of Congress.
Yep.
It was really interesting to see what their thoughts were going into the debate.
Yeah.
And I think we were all kind of on the same page. Like, we hope Biden does poorly, like we expect him to, but we hope he doesn't do poor enough that they replace him with Gavin Newsom.
Like the bar is so low that him just making it to the podium, he wins in their eyes.
Well, that is a legitimate thought too.
As long as he doesn't have an error 404 moment, he's won.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we're kind of safe on that right now with Trump. Trump seems to be pretty sharp tonight.
Trump's on it, man. Like he's doing a fucking fantastic job so far in my eyes.
This is a good format for Trump, though. Like it seems like he's very disciplined.
Yeah, like I mean, the guy's sharp in the boardroom, and there's the annoying part is they have the the green button shit where they're cutting off his mic, and you can see a couple times when they still have the split screen view that he's trying to make a response to something Biden has said, and they've cut his mic off, which is it's annoying, but I'm sure on stage it's still rattling Biden a bit, especially without an audience.
Yep.
What do you think about the fact that they're doing a 1 to 2 minute delay, so everything that we're seeing could potentially be edited?
It seems.
I haven't noticed anything so far that would be a red flag for me.
Same.
But at the same time, it's telling that they are giving Biden every advantage they possibly can get.
Yeah. And I think that he needs that, but at the same time, I will at least give CNN the benefit of the doubt here that they have been relatively fair with the time that they've been allotting to each candidate. I will actually give them that, which is a good thing to see.
There was only one moment. I think there was only one moment earlier where I thought that they gave Biden a fucking layup question and wouldn't let Trump respond. That irritated me a little bit, but other than that, they've actually been, for CNN, they've been remarkably fair, considering they're usually about 3 steps to the left of fucking Vladimir Lenin.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're 100% correct on that, and it is good to see at least, because I went into this thinking that this was going to be pretty much Lenin interviewing Biden, and then Trump left in the dust.
Right.
So him being able to speak, say his piece, he's been sharp, he's been on point, he's been getting his points across. That's great to see.
He's been sharp, he's communicated his points really well, and I feel like this is going to, and really, like, this is going to do what we always know debates end up being, where they will end up in about 10 to 15, 20-second clips edited for Twitter and Instagram and everything like that, and that's all people know about. So I feel like Trump's doing really well in that context. Also, as like just a debate guy, I feel like Trump's doing really well in general.
I would also agree with that, and I'm happy that there is at least a debate, though. My biggest surprise actually tonight is the fact that Biden has remained standing this entire time. I'm very surprised by that fact.
So far.
Because if I'm not mistaken, he was the one who negotiated in the commercial breaks.
Yes, and which is a first in history, correct?
I'm not sure about that one. I wouldn't be surprised.
They made it have at least one commercial debate or break during debates, but I think this has 2 if I remember correctly.
Okay, yeah, I'm not sure.
Maybe more.
Yeah, I've only seen one so far, so I'm not sure.
Yep.
I'd be surprised if it was 2 breaks. But I mean, still, even negotiating that in, because it's like, bro, are you like, are you having to go off screen and get a fucking re-up on your B12, or like, what are you doing?
Right. I'm surprised the next commercial break, if they don't replace whoever his the real nominee might be. You know, it's kind of surprising that they don't replace him after this.
Be hilarious. Like, they just bring out, like, here comes Gavin Newsom with a steel chair.
Now, I have a question about, so I'm not sure if you're aware, but John Stossel is doing a debate with Kennedy. How do you feel about him not being included tonight, if you don't mind me asking?
So I like a lot of stuff that Robert Kennedy said. RFK, like, he's had some interesting opinions on things that I think that a lot of the mainstream guys aren't talking about. At the same time, he's not my fucking main pick. Like,
Same.
He's had some very bad opinions about things I feel very passionately about, and I feel like he's a red herring for a lot of libertarian-leaning people.
Yeah.
I don't dislike the guy. I really don't. But like, he's not the savior that a lot of people are looking to him to be. And if you look at a lot of hangups that people have about Trump, if you look at RFK, he's 10 times worse on every single one of those issues.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
No, I like him. I wish he would have a platform, but I don't.
It's iffy. It's a little iffy.
I think he would have been the best possible Democrat, if that makes sense.
Fair. Yeah. So like a Tulsi Gabbard kind of, like somebody who's at least logical.
Somebody that I think that I could have an intelligent conversation with instead of whatever the fuck nursing home brawl we're watching now.
That is actually 100% kind of how I feel about it. I do wish that third parties and secondary candidates could participate in the debates. I do believe America should have a wider range of choice, but at the same time.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you're not hitting the numbers required to be on the debate stage, why the fuck should you be there?
That is also a fair point. Yeah,
True.
No, I agree.
Yeah, like, you got 2 guys who are hitting 42, 45%. And then you got one guy who's like barely dragging in 1.7. You're like, oh yeah, they're all 3 equals. It's like, well, no.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
That's 100% true. So now, how do you feel that Biden has? I guess how would I phrase this? How do you feel Biden's doing in this debate regarding just him remaining alive enough to participate?
I don't know. I feel like the people that like him are going to have enough clips of him getting his gotcha moments, and I feel like the people who don't like him are going to have about 7 minutes compiled of him forgetting where the fuck he is. And I feel like everybody's going to probably feel the same tomorrow as they did, 4 hours ago. But
yeah, people kind of go into this debate already kind of knowing who they're going to vote for, mostly. It's kind of silly to think that a lot of people kind of don't know by this point. And it's also funny, like the faces Biden is making, like he belongs in like a nursing home just from the faces alone.
Yeah, he doesn't know where he is.
So I had a really good conversation with some people, and I've got to run after this, but I had some good conversation with some people on that Twitter space, including Sebastian Gorka, who brought up something that I thought was pretty bright. Where, like, Trump doesn't need a gotcha moment. He doesn't need a you'd be in jail moment, like something like that we all know and love for. But like, he just needs to be coherent. He needs to be presidential. He needs to be what we all know that he is. And then really Biden is just going to put the nails in his own coffin as far as like, he's the guy on stage who is not coherent enough. He's the guy who's not presidential. He's the guy that you really don't want running the free world with a nuclear football.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to look at these two and be like, they're both presidents, but like one of them is the current president. That's wild.
That's the wild part too, is that this is the first time in modern history we've ever had 2 people on the debate stage who are both like President Trump, President Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting to see because it's you can no longer make the argument that neither one is necessarily understands the duty of office, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild stuff. But guys, I gotta let you run. I gotta get back to stuff, but I just wanted to jump in real quick. I appreciate you guys, and
thank you. We appreciate you.
I'll keep following you guys as much as I have been.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much. Have
Have
a
a good
great
one.
night.
Appreciate it, guys.
See ya.
Later.
Well, that was another wonderful guest. Brandon messaged me, everybody, which was wonderful, and I said, of course, feel free to fucking hop on. So let's go back to the debate. I did turn on closed captioning for everybody.
All the people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he went.
I'm surprised he's still after all that.
And colleagues said, "Don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically."
Fucking
He
great.
never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill.
Biden, I mean.
We need those machines.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
We need those machines. And we're coming down.
I've been
very hard in
drinking.
every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now, struggling to get the treatment they need.
Epidemic.
This does pertain to it. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done. Hard
He looks so
negotiations with
worried,
Mexico, and I got it all
Biden.
for nothing.
He does.
It's just like when you
He
have a
looks
hostage,
like
we always pay
he's
$6 billion for
not
every time we take a
contemplating the
hostage.
strength of his own
Now we have a
argument, but the
hostage, the Wall
strength
Street Journal
of
reporter.
anything that Trump says and what he
I
can
think a good
use
guy,
to counter
and
it.
He's over
very
there
much on the
because Putin
defensive.
is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said by literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago. But Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where we paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about.
Yeah, the amount of hostages that Trump was able to negotiate out of these countries
without any bloodshed.
without any, yes,
concerns
or really
about your
anything in
capability to
return.
handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s.
Well, first of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger.
Well, you're a career politician, dude.
Yeah, when did he join
It's not a good
Congress?
Oh, God. He was 29. So whatever year that was.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he got elected to the Senate when he was 29.
Private investment in enterprises that we are growing. By the way, we brought off a lot of people. Well, the whole idea of computer chips. We used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and then bring home a product. So I went.
Should be
I went
done
to South Korea.
domestically.
I convinced Samsung to invest
That's why I want
billions
Vivek.
of dollars here in the United
Right.
States. And they're, guess what? Those fabs they call that to build these chips. Those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them.
1970, by the way.
$40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant jobs
1970.
for Americans from all over the world.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before.
No, we're not a failing country. Your policies are
A
failing.
single major country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us.
I'm going to go get a non-alcoholic beverage. I shall return, everybody.
Those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong-un, he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc., they don't want to screw around with us.
Thank you. Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. and I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that
Shots
I'm
fired.
in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds.
What?
Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, anyway, just take a look at what he says he is and take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got
Driving?
my handicap, which when I was
golf.
vice president, down to a 6. And by the way,
What is he talking
I told
about?
You, I'm happy to play golf. If you carry on
Golf,
that.
I think.
What is 6'5" though? Trump's not 6'5", nor is he never
Yeah,
claimed to be, right?
I don't know. So I just tweeted, at this point in their presidency, who had more brains left, Joe Biden or JFK?
President Trump, we're going to
Let's
Fuck.
not act like children.
a specific concern that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins, and you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable?
He said that
Well,
from
I
the
shouldn't
get-go.
have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president.
No.
Because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent, because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III.
We're very close to it.
Can imagine.
We're close.
If it
We're
hasn't
closer
already
now than ever.
started, we don't know.
Right.
And he's driving us there.
And yes, JFK is the correct answer.
President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these.
Go vote on my tweet and retweet it because it's a good tweet.
Yes, vote on Dalton's tweet.
Nothing going with this gentleman.
I didn't come up with it. I kind of stole it from somebody a long time ago, but it's a good, relevant
We're in
tweet.
World War III. Let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is an attack on all, and required response. The idea, I can't think of a single
look at his
major
eyes.
leader in the world.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time he blinks.
Oh, fuck.
What they've done.
No, you're not gonna ever take shots. Look at him. He hasn't blinked in like 30 seconds.
That means because of the American people.
Let me see.
They're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed.
Holy
And
shit, you're
now,
right.
We're needed. We're needed to protect the world because our own safety is at stake. And again, you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you,
He still is not blinking.
I just input the that last scene from Billy Madison at the everything you said. We're all dumber for it. All that,
They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games.
Peace
he
through
took
strength.
Nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here.
Yep.
That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked if I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins? Yes or no?
It's a fair,
Little off topic there,
legal,
bud.
and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news
Biden finally
conference on it
blinked.
in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely.
week.
There's nothing I'd rather.
I don't think
do.
Biden
It
can
would be
handle
much easier for me
sequestering
to do
in
that
Camp David for another
than,
week.
run it
No.
again. I
To
wasn't
prepare
really
for
going
this
to
debate?
run
Oh my
until I
God.
saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country.
CNN all
Look at
week
that
they've
face.
tried to
Be someplace
frame it.
else, in a
Yeah,
nice
they try to
location
frame
someplace.
him being
And again,
sequestered at Camp
no
David for an entire
indictments,
week as
no
president
political
as
opponent
traditional,
stuff, because
which
it's
it's
only
not.
he thinks
It's
he can
not
win.
at all.
But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner.
That's a
You
clip.
lost the
Bookmark
first
it.
time.
Yep.
You continue
Somebody
to
clip
appeal
that.
the courts all
We'll
across
watch
the
it in
country.
November.
Not one single court in America
He's getting mad.
said any of your
He's getting
claims
angry.
had any merit, state or
Uh-oh.
local.
Yeah, you could tell because
None.
his left eye's
But
closer,
you continue to
more
provoke
close than his
it.
right
Yep.
eye.
This lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I tell you what.
Now
I
he's
doubt we
blinking
will
too
accept it
often.
Because you're such a whiner. The idea if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
We'll be right back. With
All
more
Something
right.
snapped in you when you lost last time, and Trump just had the biggest smile. on
Yeah,
his
yeah. He was just like, all right. So everybody, by the way, I hope everybody has been enjoying the show. We are obviously on a commercial break right now. It doesn't show us the commercials on YouTube, which is fantastic because I don't really want to see anything that CNN is promoting. So, you know, there's that. But make sure to vote in the poll right now. It does look like there is 96. So I asked, by the way, Dalton, I'm not sure if you saw, I asked, who is your pick for
I
president? Okay, so
Yeah, I
96% to 4%. So there are 4% of you that are...
Hey, 4%. Hey, thanks for tuning in. You guys rock.
Here's the
That's
thing.
cool.
Here's the thing. I genuinely am okay with that. I want everybody to understand that. I am not the kind of person who wants to live in an echo chamber. If you guys disagree with me, by all fucking means, voice your opinion. I will be reading all the super chats at the end of the stream after the debate is done. But, you know, I'm not one of those people that's going to be like, oh, how dare people vote for Biden? No, you have the freedom to do so.
Yep.
That's
Hey,
how...
so real quick.
Yeah.
So 623 people on X are viewing and 365 on YouTube. So thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody who's here from X. This is our first live stream on X. We were actually very worried about it. Dalton and I were panicking after CNN said they were going to be issuing takedown notices on YouTube. We decided to go ahead with both because we don't believe in censorship.
So far, so good.
Knock on wood.
I thought honestly by now they would definitely throw some stuff at us.
As did I. I thought we would have already gotten like your stream has ended because of a copyright claim or something to that effect.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought so, which is why we said, hey, everybody, there's backup on X. So I hope everybody's enjoying the show. I hope everybody's enjoying the debate. What do you think? Make sure to vote in the poll. The poll is on YouTube only. Sadly, I can't. But Dalton is tweeting out polls and stuff like that on his.
Well, I've got one really cool poll going on right now that I think is pretty brilliant. Like I said, it's not my original idea, but I saw it a long time ago, and I think it's relevant.
I'm gonna post one right now. So I'm gonna post who do you think is winning the debate. We're gonna give a poll. So it's gonna be Trump, Biden, and vote. Go for it, everybody. It is a tweet on my Twitter as well. Thank you. Future watch party alcohol money. I just saw that super chat. Thank you. The amount of, I just want you all to understand, I've already killed a box of fucking 24 beers.
So I will tell you, this is my first beer that I've had in over 2 years.
Yeah.
So, and it's gone. You know, last stream, I think we kind of told everybody that I got COVID back in November of 2022, and it wrecked my entire smell and taste. So for up until now, I mean, I have not been able to enjoy really anything except for like water. And so, yeah, I was able to at least stomach this beer. It's a pretty mild beer. It's a Yingling. And so,
I'm drinking.
Yeah, so I mean, that's cool. It's first alcoholic beverage that I've had in a while. So cool, we're back.
We are back. I'm just glad that you're able to stomach it, because you did tell me that.
Coin toss. We're going to begin with you, President.
So it's closing statement times, I believe.
Yep.
We've made significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience, or anyone out watching,
Fair tax system is 0%.
I think the tax system is fair.
Fucking amen to
Fact
that,
is,
brother.
I said, nobody making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes, and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit. Number one,
He just said
increased inflation
Trump
because of
did the
debacle he left
largest tax
after
cut.
He handled the pandemic, and he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more.
Didn't the IRS also say that they're going to be investigating anybody who gets more than $600 like immediately?
Yeah. Or it was you have to claim that on your taxes no matter what or something.
Yeah, so it's a complete lie, everybody. Just letting you know.
Yeah, this is wild that he's going with this.
Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No,
Trump did. Trump capped it. You rescinded it and then re-implemented it, but you re-implemented it under the insurance companies rather than the producers.
By $160 billion over 10 years, because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every
Government should never be involved in price fixing, ever.
Everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credit people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on...
Don't tax their income and property, and you wouldn't need a tax credit.
For people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Here's my VP
Like
pick.
so many politicians,
I'm waiting for it, dude. I'm waiting for it.
He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States.
China. Oh, fuck. God, fuck you.
No money for Hamas or Hezbollah.
I'm already done.
No money whatsoever.
I need another.
Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians
halfway through case
and we have
2.
everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the
Reminder: Trump gets the last word, so this is it.
This is it.
Biden can't respond.
Jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs.
Unless they
but
let
he's
him.
Putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like. Even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living, and that's why
what AC was talking about.
Rating in the history of the VA.
Yeah.
So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett.
Okay, well, so that's
Biden's like, can I sit down now? Can I please sit down?
So that's
I just want to sit down so bad.
So just to confirm, Dalton, so that is the end of this, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
All right, so let me go back to the two people show. So first off,
do they shake hands? Do they shake hands?
Oh, let us see. Let us see. 2+ Media. Let's go check it out. By the way, I hope everybody likes our third, which is the wonderful Fuck CNN logo. And no,
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
It looks like it's just going to be Anderson Cooper. I guess giving his thoughts,
doing his whatever he is doing.
Yes,
yeah, thoughts, if that's what you want to call it. If that's what you want to call it, propaganda might be another word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, so chat, everybody. First off, we had way more guests than I thought I would. Originally, it was supposed to be... So I just want everybody to understand. Originally, we reached out to King Trout. Trout said, sure, I'm 100% down. Then, obviously, his phone had some issues. And then AC hopped in, which was great. Thank you so much, AC.
Yes, thank you.
Genuinely thank you for having you. As well as Brandon, who messaged me and said, hey, can I pop on? And I said, sure, of course.
That was a surprise to even us.
That was a surprise to even us, which was, I mean, I know that I understand they're all hanging out. It was awesome to get both Brandon, Trout, and Donut Steak.
Very fortunate.
It was very cool. Very cool.
Donut. Very cool.
So I want everybody to know, I'm going to put another poll into the chat with who do you think won the debate, I guess is the best way to phrase it, right?
I can't get over Donut saying, I would have arrested him.
I love that he's like, I would have just fucking flat out arrested him.
I mean, look at his eyes. I would have arrested him for that.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing is, as somebody who's not in the know, I'm not a cop, so I'm not in the know, but him realizing that kind of gives me some questions.
Yeah. So I would love for Donut to give Biden like a the drunk test on the side of the road. Love the sober test or whatever it's called.
Like DUI, I guess. Test.
Yeah. It would be hilarious to see him do it while he's sober and while he's on whatever he's on right now. Because I don't think it would be very different from each other. I think you'd get the same results.
I would agree. I would actually agree. Really quick, Dalton, let's go to super chats, right? Let's respond to some of these.
Yeah.
So we've got $5 from Sir Bob of Oliver saying, "Get yourself some liquid gold, Yingling." Fucking got you covered. I'm more than a case cheap, but we'll put it there.
Yeah, I just got one.
You just got one, but to be fair, you were testing. You were testing to see whether or not the taste was going to be okay.
I did get another one, and it's in my fridge, but I don't know that there's a point in drinking all of it right now.
No, you could drink it whenever the hell. Like, whenever you feel like, hey, I want to break from water.
Yep.
We've got another chat from, super chat from Patriotic Z saying, did you know the Biden admin targeted G's up over a favor? It's called Lean and had Biden on it. If it's pretty petty enough to target them, then it isn't stretched from him targeting opponents. I'm not familiar enough with that.
Me neither.
So I don't have a comment. But thank you for the 10, Patriotic Z. We've got Buy All the Drinks on Me, You Mad Lad from Slick Soul. Thank you with the $50.
Whoa, that's awesome.
That is, you know what? Thank you. That definitely covered the beer tab for tonight. So thank you so much. Remind me that if we ever meet, I get to kiss you on the cheek for a photo. And the photo's for me, so I can look at it later and ponder on beautiful memories. We've got Akila Copeland saying, if it weren't for the stream, I wouldn't be watching the debate at all for $5.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in. I genuinely do believe that there is a large segment of people that don't care about the debates anymore, and that's really sad. And I do think that it has to do with the political nature of how they've it's become a pissing contest of who gets it. You know, like CNN had it this time, but they didn't allow many other media outlets. Apparently they did, what was it, USA? Who were we watching prior that their stream was
I think it was USA Today.
USA Today, yeah, I think so.
If I remember right.
But they might be a CNN affiliate. I don't know who owns them. That might be why. Right. But I do think that there should be generalized access no matter what. That's how I see it. We've also got
more transparency, the better, especially in government. I think that a lot of state courts will allow cameras in the courtroom. I think every federal courtroom should have cameras no matter what.
I agree.
The more transparency you have in government, the better. We should be able to see every court trial. I mean, there might be some exceptions with kids and stuff, regarding the, some pretty bad things that might happen. You want to protect them, but I think generally the vast majority of court cases or trials should be televised.
I 1,000% agree. Actually, I 1,000% agree.
So transparency, and especially in debates. So. Kind of went off on a little
rant.
I got
a message from a police officer. So Lex, anybody who's watched the Cryptid series, Dr. Emily, messaged me and said, I don't know how to pronounce this. I'm just being 100%. Said nystagmus is the natural bouncing of the eyes from left to right. Alcohol slows that down and makes it more pronounced, and accelerants speed it up. And it was more pronounced. So that kind of tracks. So that it was stimulant.
That tracks with what Donut was saying.
Said so Biden's was more pronounced, and I doubt he was down margaritas before maintaining meth shots. So we have another police officer, not just Donut, saying that it does seem like this might have been his stimulants, which, as I said, there was supposed to be a drug test. And he
I was gonna say it tracks with the fact that he didn't, and my camera's zooming in on me, really creepy. It does that. If I do this, it readjusts. But it tracks with what AC was saying and everything.
AC and Donut. Donut, you mean? In this regard,
I think Donut. I just Joe Biden myself for a moment, and my camera's still being creepy. It's zooming in.
It's a night, man. It's a night. We do this on every watch party. We've also got $10 from Raymond Scimitar saying, future watch party alcohol money for 10. Thank you.
Nice.
We got SDI ad break at 10:33. Just remember, you too can get your start in gunsmithing by using SDI. They haven't sponsored me, but fuck it, why not?
Brennan was on, so we'll just extend the we'll just extend it. So there you go.
We got another Laverne McNitt just super chatted $20 saying, to me the debate would not have been worth watching without you guys' commentary. Thank you so much. I genuinely want you to understand that means a lot to both of us.
The fact that there were so many different debates going on, or one debate, but many different streams of this one debate, and you guys chose to stick around with us for it, it meant a lot. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It really does mean the world. Thank you so much for the 20. You are wonderful.
I feel like I'm just Joe Biting myself right now.
We
Joe
all
Biden.
are. I've been drinking. So we've got.
I'm not drunk. I promise.
We've got another.
One here doesn't get me drunk.
Ferguson. Well, one's not going to get you drunk.
No.
One case though. I'm a case and a half deep, dude. Like.
Good luck for you.
You're gonna need it. I'm actually relatively sober right now. I'm just kind of like, I want a snack. I'm at that point.
Ooh. Yep.
We've got Turd Ferguson, my mod, saying Biden is straight up meth rave facing. There were a lot of really crazy expressions. Did you notice that?
Absolutely. I couldn't stop noticing it. It was pretty wild. Like he kept having such a worried look on his face the entire time.
And then there were
like
times
anytime that
smirking.
Yeah. He had like this worried look, and he's just like, it feels like he was coached to be like, hey, whenever you have this look and you catch yourself, just smirk. It's just like it's like do the opposite of what you're doing. It's like, so you look really worried and then you look really confident. It's like, it's super weird. It's like,
it's off-putting.
It's
almost.
like it's two different feelings that you see, and it's just like, it's fake no matter what. But it's like the worried look, it looks a lot less fake, because it's like either he's trying to look very focused, and I'm sure he is trying to be very focused, but it's like he looks so focused that he looks worried.
Yes. It didn't seem like,
and that's harming him, I think.
Yes, I also agree that here's the thing. I hope everybody understands here. We obviously went in with our own political biases. I'm going to be 100%.
Yes.
I am not a Biden fan. At the same time,
Same.
I will, and even AC called out, okay, that was a decent jab. You know, like there are, we can still recognize those kind of things. While simultaneously, you know, I'm going to tell you, this is not an unbiased source. But at the same time, we're able to notice things that, you know, maybe aren't necessarily going to be picked up on CNN. You know, I don't think Anderson Cooper is going to be going over Joe Biden's smirk, let's just say.
Right.
The way I see it is it's far better to watch it and make your own decision about what transpired. Do not necessarily always listen to us. You know, we're giving our own personal commentary, but once again, that is personal. That is not meant to be a replacement of thought. I just want everybody to understand that. We are also getting more super chats. I will read those.
We could be retarded. I don't know. Like we could have the dumbest takes ever.
Fucking
Who knows?
cheers
So,
to that, bro. Now, moving on to another super chat, we said we got Patriotic Z says, as a Californian, Newsom is a joke used as the devil's tongue. Free North Cal, state of Jefferson, hashtag Greater Idaho, North Cal. I do believe that California should be just split into various states. I think that would solve a lot of the inner conflict between Californians, because it's really just the big cities that are blue.
Yeah, and that's kind of the funny part of all that. Just the cities. The majority of all cities are just blue.
Yes,
I mean,
I
then
saw
everything else is pretty much red.
I saw a tweet that said there are no blue states, just blue cities, and that's actually, when you look at the map, it's actually quite true.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
You know, most of America is actually quite rural. For anybody who's from Europe or any other country, I just want you to understand, the majority of America is rural. It's pocket cities in, you know, most states that end up being much more left-leaning, which is just how cities tend to be.
And we were talking about this the other night. You know, I kind of brought up the, you know, Nebraska, you know, has electoral districts rather than all the electoral votes going to the state. And I brought up, you know, if they did that to New York and they sectioned off, you know, New York City into its own electoral district and the rest of the state into its own, you would have the majority of New York win for red. And then 100%. You would have New York City just go blue for that. And, you know,
and there's pros and cons, but I do believe it's more representative of each community.
Right.
So we're in agreement there. I do believe that there is a con to it, and the con obviously is that the state is meant to be represented. But I also believe that the division of power, the further you divide it, the better off we are.
Right. The more localized, the better, because of better representation for the people. Yep.
We also got Patriotic Z with another 5 saying we already have an N-word mayor. We don't need an N-word big shot.
Direct quote from
Biden. It's a Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Yep,
that's a real quote.
That is a real quote from Joe Biden.
Back when he was on the Senate Judiciary Committee,
I believe
if
so.
I remember correctly.
It was during his when he was voting for the drug war, and he was voting for
maybe not the Judiciary Committee, but
I forget which committee.
He was the head of. I forgot, but yeah, he was. Yep, he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's wild. Different times we live in. And I love how the left likes to retroactively go back and, like, you know, dig up either old tweets or dig up old quotes, you know, especially like, you know, Trump and the whole, you know, what was it, Hollywood Access quote that he had and everything. They love to dig up that stuff, but they don't dig up any of the actual quotes that, you know, Joe Biden is known to say.
Another police officer, by the way, just messaged me and said 100% would not pass a field sobriety test. I would have arrested him. So we have now 3 cops saying that.
If you're in law enforcement, just keep coming our way, because this is funny. This is pretty funny.
Thank you all for your input. I genuinely. By the way, Slick Soul, thank you for the 5. Even though there's no message, I just want to thank everybody. I always try my best, everybody. If I miss anything, I do apologize. We've got Carson Commando, our ultimate meme lord Mufasa, saying listening to Biden is like being high for free. That's a great fucking message. I love you, Carson. Famer says, now mind you, Famer, for anybody who doesn't know, is not from the U.S., so we get outside perspective. Says Biden's team furiously typing for his teleprompter. I don't believe there was a teleprompter on the debate stage.
Right.
At the same time, I do believe he was coached.
However, if you go on his Twitter, Biden is obviously never tweets as himself because
it's his
one
press
would,
secretary.
No
right?
one would. Yeah, I believe so. That or the rest of his communication team. But like, it's so funny because it's like, he's up there on the debate stumbling, and his Twitter is just going absolutely crazy, like blah blah blah, trying to right his wrongs and everything that he did on the debate stage.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It is funny. We also got Grim, who, for anybody who doesn't know, is Dr. Linda in the cryptid videos. Thank you for the $1, baby. Carson again saying for $5, saying when Biden talks, I lose IQ points. I do feel like that because he would just switch. He went off on like a random tangent and tried to connect two things that inherently just cannot be connected.
Well, it's funny because he was just like, he was just like, Trump did the biggest tax cut ever. And in his closing statement, Trump's going to increase your taxes. It's just like, did you switch parties on us?
Yeah,
did
right.
What are you doing right now?
Systems,
Yeah. It's just like, what are you trying to say?
It's insane. I feel
It
like
is.
he,
It's
I
really
feel
weird.
like he
Maybe
was on the
part of me
defense
is
the
like
entire
questioning.
time.
Part of me is kind of like, did I misunderstand what he was trying to say? Like, but at the same time, it's like, those are two different wild policies, decisions and everything. It's like, I don't know why he would say, hey, this is bad because he did this, but also he's going to do the opposite. And that's also bad. And it's just like, it's either good or it's not.
Yes. And the way that I see it also is just that I do believe that for anybody who doesn't know, Biden did sequester himself to prepare for this debate, which is for a week, which is not typical. The contrary to what everybody fucking tells you, that is not typical. I do believe that he was on defense this entire debate. I do not believe that he had a point where he could kind of go on the attack, other than maybe when he was calling Trump out for being, 34 felonies. But at the same time, we've already seen that is actually a pro for Trump because he raised $54 million in 24 hours.
Yeah, they were able to turn that into a fundraising opportunity.
Yes, and they sold shirts with his mugshot on it. So I don't see that is the best attack, to be honest.
Right.
We also got.
I really want Trump to come back to X or Twitter, and I want him to go after Biden the same way that Brandon went after Tony on Twitter.
I
just
agree.
Reply to all of his stuff, just out ratio him, all that stuff. It's so funny. It would be so entertaining.
I've been seeing redhead libertarian. She's been ratioing Biden, which is
great.
just brilliant. I love her.
Josie is great.
Josie's great.
Yep.
We also got a $5 super chat from Cosmic Mender saying, I love how CNN doesn't have comments activated. I didn't notice that because we had it full screen the entire time, but that makes a lot of sense, and that does not surprise me.
You know what's funny? So right after Biden got elected, his inaugural video on the White House YouTube channel, it got so many dislikes that YouTube stepped in and was like, hey, we're hiding the dislikes number because we don't want that to happen anymore. So I guarantee you every single White House video probably has more dislikes than it actually has to actual likes. Like the ratio is probably wild. But yeah, that when he was sworn in, that whole entire video is just like, it was the most wild ratio I've seen on a YouTube video.
Yeah, and the way that I see this is I do believe to a degree there was damage control. And Dalton, I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like CNN, first off, as I said, I know a lot of people in the chat are saying, don't give CNN anything. I'm going to give people props. Redemption needs to be offered. Otherwise, people will never, ever come to your side.
Right.
I do believe that they handled this relatively well, minus, as Brandon said, a couple things where they let Biden slide. But what I will say
there was there was a moment where we didn't really know what was going on because we were talking to Brandon.
We
and
were
Donut
talking to
and-
Brandon,
and
yes.
Trout. So there might have been some times where maybe they were a little, not even-handed. So, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's perfectly fine. But my point being is that essentially the way I see it is that you can still see that all of the way this was set up from the initial, we're not allowing other media companies in. We're not doing allowing. Mind you, we're not supposed to be doing the stream. I want everybody to understand that. We were told. Tim Cast even tweeted it out. Liberty Bell tweeted it out. She canceled her stream. That YouTube was going in tandem with CNN was going to strike channels that did what we have done tonight. And first off, I'm very happy to see that we are still live, so that's great. Second thing is essentially that it was all set up from the beginning to essentially run damage control. And it's really good to see that did not work, I guess is my main point.
Yeah.
I just want to keep going with the super chats because we have a lot of them, by the way.
Yeah, and real quick, I've been listening to CNN all week, almost nonstop, and they've just been kind of Trump's going to be this dictator figure, and he's going to come in, he's going to shout Biden down. We saw none of that tonight. We saw, and Trump, I think the first debate in 2020, he did kind of do a little bit of that. And, Biden got a couple good jabs back because of that. But it's just this time we saw Trump actually be very, contained. He was very, I guess, what is the word that I'm trying to say? He was just very, he was himself, but he was also very laid back. He was very calm. He wasn't shouting.
Yeah.
There was, I think there was one, maybe two moments where he was talking and the mic was muted, but it was kind of you can kind of hear what he was saying. But at the same time, he didn't go off. He didn't try to do the Rosie O'Donnell comment and everything, trying to, stir Biden up or anything. It was, I think it was a fairly okay format. Like you said, there was a couple weird things, the 1-2 minute delay, the no audience, or at least there's no reporters in there and everything. The White House press pool, I think they weren't even allowed in there, which is kind of wild. And it's just they really limited how many people were going to be in the room. And it's I can kind of understand that from the perspective of you want this to be, I guess, as clean as possible in terms of no interruptions, but at the same time it's I don't know, it seems it's unprecedented. So it's it's just a weird time that we kind of live in, but it's a very interesting time that we live in as well.
Moving on was just I want to get through these super chats because as I said, we have a fucking no, don't apologize. You're a host with me here. I want to make sure everybody's voice is heard. Says we've got Live the Life 2 Wheels saying, does anyone notice the earpiece in Biden's right ear? Now I got a message from Grim as well saying the same thing. I did not personally notice this, but I also wasn't looking. I was listening more than I was looking. So
his facial expressions kind of took me out from everything else.
Same. But thank you for the 5. We've got
we'll check that out.
Another from Live the Life 2 Wheels. Thank you for the 2. We've got another $50 from Slick Soul saying no need to read this. First live stream I'm gonna read it. Fuck you. First live stream I've been able to catch for a while. Here's a payment for all the videos you've made. Later with.
You're killing it, by the way.
You know what? Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the videos. Hope you enjoy the content. And it's really wonderful having you in the community. Genuinely. I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. I genuinely do. Sean Deeds, who is in the Discord. I believe he's one of the founding fathers of the Discord, which is the first members that joined. Said, thanks for hanging out with us, Angry Cops. Yes, thank you for the 5. And I will relay that to AC. Genuine thank you to Angry Cops for stopping by, offering, especially his military perspective was very good to hear because I don't have that. Neither does Dalton. Dalton, your family's military, but AC is
my dad.
Which is wonderful to see. Turd with another 2 saying libertarian furries for Trump. Chase Oliver is bad. The Libertarian Party just
they really fumbled this year. They fumbled hard this year.
They fumbled real hard.
To think you could have had somebody like Dave Smith
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to who you have now.
It's
like it's kind of wild.
This is why,
and I know
like,
Dave
there's
wasn't running,
the small libertarian versus the large, the capital
yeah,
LB.
yeah, the small L versus the
big L. Yeah,
all
yeah, that. But thank you for the
Yep.
2 turd. You know I love you. That security. Oh, there was a beer burp. That security guy says, y'all be sure to share this on every social media platform. It is on X. It is on YouTube. I'm sure that
Facebook sucks.
Facebook sucks because fuck Meta and fuck Zuckerberg. But thank you for the 5.
Yep.
Turd said, why, Gary, why? We've got Sean Deeds as
Oh,
a new
man.
member. So, by the way, if you're a new member here, wonderful. Welcome to the community. We love you, having you as a meme lord militia. Turd also with $2 saying Dalton deserves all the hugs. Ooh woo.
Thanks, Turd.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I love it. The
That
love
is
from the
beautiful.
chat for Dalton, by the way, guys. Dalton is a wonderful person. If you're not following him, follow him on Twitter. Seriously, it's Dalton Sutton IO, I believe.
Yep. And I'm like 70 away from 2000, which is kind of wild to me.
That's insane.
Because like 3, 4, 5 months ago, I was like maybe 600, which is really wild. So
I was
you.
at what 200 when we did the Brandon live stream,
Yeah.
and now we're double that, if not a little
Yep.
bit more, which is insane.
Yep. Which hopefully your stream tonight kind of helped out with
I'm sure
getting
it
you a
did.
little bit of boost.
I'm sure it did. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for following. We love you very much. We've also got a super chat for 5 from Pro Squasha. Oh wait, no, I missed one. $5 from Cameron Mitchell saying "love you" with a kissy face. So we love you too. Mwah. Thank you so much.
Yep, kisses back, all the kisses.
Pro Squasha saying, I like when you made fun of Ernie Gonzalez. Let the presidential gooning sesh commence. The presidential gooning sesh will never end. Because I'm a firm believer that no matter the side, left or right, we should 100% be calling out politicians on bad ideas. Trump with the bum stock ban, that was under Trump.
Yep.
I want everybody to remember
Yep.
that.
Yep.
I will call that out as bullshit. I'm happy it was overturned.
Yep.
But
The fact that it was in place at all.
Yes.
Wild.
Yes. We've also got, it says 30X tier 1. I don't know if Cass gifted a bunch of subs, but Cass is one of my dear friends saying what up. Thank you, Cass. I love you. We've also got a bunch of it says 4X Prime by Insane Triggers to start this already. Let's rock. We've got Fen, who's another good friend of mine as well, saying god damn already. Love you, Fen, with 30X. I don't know if that's gifted subs or what that is, but thank you. I don't know YouTube, guys. I'm kind of retarded. Jen, I love you, Jen, saying, oh my god, your face. I love nice cock. Thank you very much. These are people from, I used to stream on Twitch, by the way, everybody. So, I used to have a nice cock.
A wild
emote.
place over there.
Yeah, it was a chicken emote.
very
that said-
wild place over there.
It's a nice
Oh,
cock,
yep.
you know?
Okay.
So thank you, Jen, with a 30, tier 1. We've got Colton, I love you, with the 11 times. Thank you as well. We've got Badaja Killer, who is from Serbia. I love this motherfucker. He's like my son. Thank you. Says family. I love you, bro. Cass says, what's up, witches, with 28 times. We've got Fen with bitches with another 29 times. We've got Jen with just saying hi with the 29 times. And we got, I call that a work for you. What's up, Ray? I love you, dude. Thank you so much for the tier 1 as well. This is beautiful. It says it was streamer slut. Hello. This is nuts. But thank you all. Love you all very much. We also apparently have some more that have come in since. We've got Logan saying Trump definitely won that. Hi from Tennessee, from Norway, from Sweden. So
Thank
you
you.
are
That's awesome.
a Nordic brother to me. Thank you for the $9.36. And also hope Tennessee's treating you well. And we okay, and then that's where we are. That's where I think we're caught up, Dalton. I think we did it.
So a couple things, just
Yes,
glancing
please do.
at Twitter real quick. The only two that were in the spin room that I can tell off on Twitter, just real quick, Byron Donalds and Vivek Ramaswamy.
So it's between those two for Trump's VP. For
It
anybody
kind of
who doesn't know,
it kind of
explain
seems
it.
like it because, yep, Trump said last week that he expects his VP pick to be at the debate, and they had a watch party, and you know, a lot of people weren't on that watch party list, but there were a couple, including Vivek. I think Tim Scott, if I remember correctly. I haven't seen any tweets. Yep, and Doug Burgum and Byron Donalds. And the only two that I see right now in the spin room is Byron Donalds and Vivek Ramaswamy. Now I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want
we
Vivek
want
to be
Vivek.
VP.
We are very open about our bias here.
Yep.
We
And so
want Vivek.
I even went so far as to create an entire website called pickvivek.com that explains
Yes.
all the reasons why Trump should pick Vivek for his VP. And so, you know, part of me was kind of hoping that was happening, but part of me is kind of relieved that it didn't, because it's like, you know, I don't want him to not pick Vivek. And so if we hold off on that a little bit longer, I have a little bit longer to have some hope. So, but yeah, so that was interesting. And then I did send you a thing on Discord. Apparently Jill Biden had to escort Joe Biden off the stage.
Really? By the way, speaking of Discord, I just got a message from Shell. It was from John Cass, or Kays. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, but thank you so much. Saying it is part of the Uniform Code of Military Justice that service members cannot badmouth the sitting president. So that's why AC couldn't say much more than who he was voting for, which we totally understand. I hope I didn't put you on the spot, AC, but thank you very much. And I do see that. I do see what you're referring to from Twitter. So let's just take a look at this video, everybody, real quick. It's True Plus Media, right? Yeah, that's the one.
Debate ever now in the books.
Oh God, this quality's ass. Video quality.
I think it's as high as it can go.
Okay.
But like, look at him.
Joe Biden having to walk him off of the, like, here's the thing. I get, like, as a wife, like, I would hope my wife would come up and support me, but I'm going to walk on my own. This does seem a little.
But when you say support, you mean just be there. When you see support, or the way that Joe Biden is doing it, she's actually like being his brace so that he can hold on to her so he doesn't fall. Like, that's a different kind of support.
I agree. By the
Weird
way,
support system he has.
We got a message from John Keys in chat. So it's Keys. That's how you pronounce it. Thank you so much for clarifying. Genuinely appreciate it, because I'm really bad. I'm also dyslexic and kind of retarded, as I said. But thank you so much for that insight. I don't have it. I'm not a military. I've never served.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yep. Same.
Yeah, so he's just 100% being escorted off of stage. It does seem like that.
And Trump just walked off, you know, with his own ability. So
yeah, which I
weird.
agree with.
I mean, it's not weird, but it's, you know.
And by the way, I just want to shout out Sergeant Potatoes. So Sergeant Potatoes said that they can't super chat because their accounts have been screwed up from an ex and they've yet to make new accounts. But what they did say, and I just want to, the reason I'm saying this, everybody, is because I want to thank everybody who's just wonderful and thoughtful and charitable towards this. They said that they want to make a Damascus hand-forged knife to make up for it. So, Potato, just want you to know, I'm gonna fucking kiss you. As long as you consent, but still, it's gonna happen. And we're gonna post it on Twitter. It will be my profile picture for a while. I promise you.
Sounds like forceful consent.
I mean, maybe, but still, I'm genuinely thankful. I love you, Sergeant Potato. You're amazing. If you do end up doing that, as I said, you don't need to. I'm just happy to have you as part of the community. If you end up doing that, just know I am eternally grateful for all the support that people have shown. It really does mean a lot to myself, and I'm sure to Dalton as well.
Absolutely.
We consider ourselves very blessed to have everybody here, being as wonderful as you are. You know, most content creators don't read they read their comments, but they don't respond because, let's be real, a lot of people are toxic. I have to say, my community and people who are here from Dalton as well, you guys have been nothing but wonderful and constructive and adults. And I respect that wholeheartedly, and it really does mean the world to myself. And Dalton, I don't want to speak for you, but I can kind of
No,
gauge
no,
that
absolutely.
that's the same for you.
And I love that we can be funny and serious when we need to be. And yeah.
Yes. So, all right. So I think that is the end of the stream, everybody, because I mean, we were here to watch the debate. We watched the debate. We had some wonderful insights from Angry Cops, from Trout. Trout was able to join us for a little bit before their phone decided to explode. And it was an iPhone, by the way, AC. So I just want to point that out. It was an iPhone because they get pussy, apparently. Apparently, I don't get pussy because I have an Android. My bad. I'll have to tell my wife that she can't sleep with me anymore. But
oh, man. I
hope everybody had a good time. Once again, if I missed your super chat, please let me know because I genuinely want to thank everybody. I do. I'm beyond grateful.
Yeah, I think you covered all of them, all the ones that I've seen anyway. I've seen you. I've heard you repeat, so I think you're good.
Also, I just saw in chat, do we have a PO box? I do not have a PO box. I'm sorry. Maybe one day I'll set one up. I'm still very new in the YouTube game. And Dalton makes videos and content specifically on X, so make sure to go follow Dalton on X, please.
It's very like I don't make it all the time like Tack does, but when I see something that I feel I could have an input on, I will make a video or I will do a website or something like the Vivek site or the Tony site. If I feel like I can have an impact, I'll do it.
And that's here's the thing. I think you should do more. By the way, Julie Tyler, thank you for the super chat for 2. We love you. Thank you so much. My wife also has an Android. You get fussy. It's a rule. My wife also has the same phone as me, actually. She has a smaller version, though, because she's not as tall as me, if that makes sense. And Soul Gazelle, thank you as well. Bless the troops, USA. Seriously, God bless the troops. God bless all of you. We're going to end for tonight. Thank you so much. Love everybody. And we will see you next time. Remember, stay tuned for another D&D video that will be coming up. We're also going to have a cryptid video. And on July 4th, the album will be coming out, hopefully, provided the distributor doesn't deck me. But I love you very much. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Peace, guys.